creatives and aggregate their talents and build their talent into formidable products that we can now push out by distribution into the different sphere of entertainment, arts, and media. Abovile Creative, in the few years that we've been on, we've been working behind the scenes and underground to build infrastructures and to create basic tools for our expression and for our impact. For example, music is an arm of Abovile Creative Academy, which is putting up this conference or this summit together, is an arm. So we have Abovile Music, we have Abovile Creative Academy, we have Abovile Media and Events. At Abovile Music, our primary focus is to reach out to everybody and anybody that has an interest or that's involved in the music business, whether you're a singer, songwriter, producer, promoter, artist manager. If you have a desire, and you have an interest in developing in your gift in the music space in any category, singer, songwriter, producer, arranger, management, production, promotion, marketing, Abovile Music is what has been created to be able to help us develop and generate talent in that sphere. Abovile Music also offers management, project management, and artist management for our young artists that are willing to help build a career in the A&R business. Abovile Music also, what we have done so far is that we have a website which all of you can visit right now, abovilecreative.com. Abovile Creative website offers us a social networking platform for creatives. So it's just like Facebook for creative people. It's live. The website is live. You can check it right now. You can also create an account. You can follow me. I'm Dr. KBK on the platform. Then it also offers you the opportunity to aggregate or distribute your content. You're a graphic designer, you're a musician, you're a spoken word artist, whatever you do, a fashion designer, you can post your content on that platform. You can engage other creatives on that platform. Then we have a streaming platform. In short, Abovile Music, we now have our own streaming account. Just like you go to DistroKid, you go to TuneCore to distribute your music, you can do that with Abovile Music. We have been able to aggregate or to integrate and affiliate with a company in the US where we can distribute your music just like that. We also have our studios. There's a studio upstairs. There's a studio in Lagos for our creatives to work in and interact with us, that we can find a way to work out a deal for you to be produced and to be promoted on our platform. Then we have also built an internet radio platform. If you go to the website, you'll find radio page. Our radio station is live 24 hours. That will give leverage to your music, to your content. So you're a spoken word artist, you are a musician, you do public speaking, you are a preacher, your content can be live on our radio, internet radio platform. What I'm saying is not something that we want to do. I'm telling you things that we're already doing, that we've done. Please take notes. That's why you can go to the website and find these things, all these infrastructures they are working. Then we also launched a podcast distribution platform. We've launched it already, and we're aggregating content that will start pushing. So the first recipient of that platform for podcasts is Dr. Femi Daosa. So very soon, you will be seeing Dr. Femi Daosa's messages, his speeches, his teachings on all platforms, from Spotify to Deezer to Amazon to Shaz. Everywhere you see the over 30+ platform. Then if you also you want to share your thoughts, you want to do podcasts, you want to interact, you are a thought leader, you are a public speaker, you also want to have your content on the podcast platform for us to distribute for you, then we can have a sit down and have a deal. So these are the infrastructures that we've built so far that are working. Then we have a lot of other things to come. Abovile Creative Academy, this is this is our maiden event, which is Tech Fusion. And we intend to make this an annual event. Why tech? Why Tech Fusion? Everything drives and thrives on tech. Do we agree? Yes, everything now. You basically cannot do anything in this world right now without tech. There's food tech, there's edu tech, there's medic tech. So you have to, for you to be able to thrive as young people and ensure that you make impact and make money, you must go tech. You must begin to look at the advantages, the benefits, and the use of technology to drive in whatever things you want to do. So any idea, 20 years ago, the ideas I have 20, 30 years ago, I was most of us that are that older, we all agree that we have one problem. It is scaling the ideas, even running, taking the idea from idea stage to a product stage, because you needed physical infrastructure, you needed huge capital to be able to get that done. You needed to rent a shop, you needed to rent an office, you needed to buy gears, devices. But today, all I need is my mobile phone to convert this in my idea. I can build an app, I can create a website, I can develop a widget, I can do anything with and how you can navigate some of the platforms that are free and available that you can use to leverage your skill. If you have an idea, do not trivialize it. No matter how flimsy, lazy, unrealistic the idea is, put it down. Go to your Google Keep Notes, go to wherever you take notes and jot it down. Keep working on that idea. Then keep part of why we're talking about Tech Fusion today. And we hope to continue this conversation virtually, which is the Academy is going to roll out a series of webinars that we can all join globally. That will be like a semester-based program. So every quarter, the Academy also one-on-one training sessions with you people. We have a space upstairs. If you intend or you are interested in interning with us, you want to apply for internship for the development of designs to production, and you can register to apply. Then we'll ask.
All right, sorry for the break in transmission. We're moving straight into the first session we have this morning. And the first session we'll be having this morning will be taken by no other person but our very own Alamene Ayi Babebra. He is an ordained reverend in Church of God Mission and also a senior technocrat in all he does. All right, let's put our hands together as we make welcome Reverend Bebra Alamene.
Thank you very much, sir. Good morning, everybody. Thank you, Dr. KBK, Mr. Momodu, for this amazing event. You did not let your curiosity stay down. You made sure that others are part of it and they are learning from it. All right, good morning. Welcome to the Tech Fusion. This is an Above Only Creative initiative. The Above Only Creative, as you know, Dr. KBK has talked about, is a Church of God Mission platform. How many of you attend Church of God Mission here? Good. You know, some of you have attended it for a very long time. How many of you are online? You have an online presence. You have an Instagram account, a TikTok account, a Facebook account. Okay, thank you for the show of hands. I'll start by this. Introducing what I'll be talking about in these few minutes I'm here. I'll talk about the power of curiosity. The power of curiosity. I said something one time I was here. I said, the first time you want to succeed is when you allow yourself to fail. Yeah. Allowing yourself fail is the ingredient for your success if you go back and study for the clouds to be cleared. Before you go out to farm, you will not get harvest. That means everything that we have put in front of us as excuses, everything that we have put in front of us as barriers, everything that we have put in front of us as hindrances for us to move forward in what we are doing should not be considered. Because if we're looking at those things, we will stop from expressing our full selves. My name is Alamene Ayi Babebra. Bebra for short. A lot of people call me Bebra because it's easy to pronounce Bebra than pronounce Ayiba Bebra. I'm from Bayelsa State. I grew up in a family of 13, and I did my own learning myself. Of course, when I say that, I'm not taking out the awesome privileges of education my father and my mother gave to me. But when it comes to questions that I had, questions that I need answers for, I had no one to answer those questions and no one to even ask. And so my curiosity led me to figuring out things myself. But in all of this curiosity, I want to appreciate my father, Mr. Cyprian Alamini, for the opportunity that he gave to me one holiday. I was in SS2, SS1, no, SS2, during one of our holidays, 3 months holiday. My dad walked up to me and said, "You're going to this computer school and you're going to learn these skills. This is an holiday. A boy like me, I would love to play with the holiday. I would love to visit my friends. I would love to do a lot of things." But my dad came and said, "You are going to this school to go and learn these skills." I never liked it. But then I went to the school. And I was taught computer appreciation in Microsoft Word, Excel, PowerPoint, Publisher, and all of those, and CorelDRAW and Photoshop 2008/2009. I learned those things. But one thing I discovered within that, I fell in love with what CorelDRAW has to offer. I fell in love with the ability for me to take shape and shape something new. Take texts and create something new. It looks like CorelDRAW was answering the curiosity of most things I had, the imagination I had, and the answers I was looking for. So I became more interested. It was boring learning the Microsoft Office tools, but it was exciting learning the CorelDRAW tools. I always wanted to be there more and more. And then I came to love entertainment. Entertainment was very amazing. I love Hollywood. I love MTV Base. I love Sound City. I love AIT when they tune into Sound City, you know. And CorelDRAW could give me the privilege of getting in touch with what I saw on TV and giving me the opportunity to be able to create them out again. It's like, oh, I'm going to learn this thing. And so I gave my heart to it. And that was how my graphic design journey started. Along the line, we were taught Macromedia Fireworks and Adobe Photoshop. And Adobe Dreamweaver. Adobe Dreamweaver, if you know it, Adobe Dreamweaver would have given you the opportunity to create websites, develop apps, and all of those things. But I never got interested in those things. In fact, fast forward to university when I was doing my IT, my dad paid for me to do my IT in CCT, NIT, and he paid a lot of money for me to learn networking and web development. I never paid attention because graphic design had consumed me. I watched myself grow in graphic design. I got to school. I met other graphic designers. I met this guy called Akpoteri Omeru. Akpoteri Omeru is one of the princes in Delta State. Akpoteri Omeru was in Benson Idahosa University, and I could see what he was doing. And I want to let you know that while I was in that computer school, all the instructors in that computer school resigned. And the owner of the school looked at one of his best students and employed him, which was me. So I ended up graduating from the school and being employed by the school to teach Microsoft Office Suite, to teach graphic design in CorelDRAW, to teach Photoshop and everything. I was doing both administration and instructor work. And so I was somewhat made to believe that I was good with my graphic designs. And I saw Akpoteri Omeru in Benson Idahosa University. I'm like, "Debra, what have you been doing since?" And so what I did was, instead of shying away from what I should learn from, I made him my friend. In fact, I went beyond making him my friend. I made him my mentor. And so we could talk. He could tell me about things. He could show me how he was doing things. I could watch his designs and learn to replicate them again and again and again. In fact, my logo, Isara Media AM, I designed it AM, but I designed the M to be 2 mountains. Of course, those mountains would be the mountains of ministry and the mountains of entertainment, you know. I designed it like that, but I copied the structure of that logo from his logo, LM. He had a company called Lucento Media. And, you know, I could be inspired by him, learn the things he's doing, replicate my designs to look like what he was doing. In fact, while we were in school, when I was in my 100 level, he was in his 300 level. He was designing for the likes of Two Exclusive. Two Exclusive was a very popular music media online by the 2012, 2013. He created their logo. In fact, most musicians that wanted to blow, they made sure that he created their apps. He designed for the likes of Eriga. He designed for the likes of Young Six, Wizkid, Two-Face, The Band, and all of those people. So this person was a force I wanted to be with. And, I kind of got close to him. But in all of these things is that I left the way I was designing so I could design like him. I never threw it away, but for the purpose of learning, I left what I thought I knew to learn something new. Fast forward, he graduated, and I became the top designer in the school. I began to do design works. I wish I could have come with a slide to show the progress of my graphics design. But while designing and all of those, I found out that I was hungry. You could design, and a lot of the time, people would come and meet you. I mean, some of you people that have done these things from scratch, you will notice these things. Somebody will come and tell you, do it for the exposure. Do it for the exposure. Do it for the exposure is a two-edged sword. Do it for the exposure is a two-edged sword. Two-edged in the sense that you, the person they are telling to do it for exposure, if you don't know how to exploit that means, you have missed it. What you're supposed to agree with the person is, you're going to be in partnership, not exposure. Partnership is better than just exposure. Exposure means do these things for me for free. I am not going to pay you. I know you are hungry, but you keep on being hungry. And here is the twist when it comes to Christians and business. When it comes to Christians and business, we let our holiness come in. Let me just go sideways. I was at Ring Road one day, and those little children in Ring Road, they came to me. I was dragging my shirt. I ignored them. You see, I'm not the one that you would move with emotions. I'm not moved by emotions. Empathy is not emotional. Empathy is knowing the person, where this person is, either emotionally or the situation the person is, and offering solution. Empathy is not emotional. Do not be emotional with your skills. Do not be emotional with your business. Do not be emotional with your future. Don't try it. The reason why I left those children is I discovered that those children never stop being children. What I mean is, if you go there in the next 10 years, you're still going to see children. But I thought they were there 10 years ago. They should have grown by now. Why are they still children? It means the people that are producing them are still producing them, irrespective of whether they are being taken care of or not. So I'm not going to use that emotion and badadash my conscience. I moved. Now, I said that to say that you shouldn't put emotion and your business together. Don't do it. Don't do it. What I do, in fact, my little sister, I designed the logo for her. She sent me airtime. My little sister. Now, I told her this. I said, look, I'm doing this so that you know that you're not just doing this thing for doing sake. You would, by the time you spend money, you know that you spent money for something, and you will put your mind serious to learn this thing. And you are going to use it. So don't joke with your skill. God gave you this skill you have, or this skill you want to develop, for profiting. It was given to you for profiting, not just for you, but for the kingdom of God. Not just for you, but for the kingdom of God. So growing in my graphic journey, in my 200, my 300, I began to design for external clients. But every time I kept hearing, do it for exposure, do it for exposure, do it for exposure. But I am hungry. And then one thing that now blew my mind was how that, I would do something for free, and they will go and meet another vendor that will do something for them for a very high price. I was like, what's going on here? Something is missing here. And here is the thing. You should value yourself so much. And when you start valuing yourself so much and know what value you carry, you will put in the necessary effort to grow, number one. You put in the necessary resources to grow, number two, and you will pay the necessary price to grow. Because you feel the thing you're doing, you got it for free, not knowing that the skill you have developed it over a period of time that you have put in so much hours. You could have been somewhere else, but you took the hours to put in this skill, and you've grown this skill to this point, and up until this time, you don't know that your product is being used to solve problem elsewhere for a huge amount of money. And so this opened my eyes, and then I began charging. And then the reason I said these things because I started charging not knowing what my value was. So I could design for clubs. I designed for Joker. I designed for Links no more. I designed for Oxygen. I designed for clubs in Asaba, clubs in Warri. For chicken change. Chicken change. And then when people come into the clubs and when they're talking about my designs, they're like, this person is designing so well. This person and I'm just quiet listening to them. I'm like, what? You mean this thing is, it is? I would look at the thing, like, this thing doesn't look like it. But they know what they would get with that thing. Now, there's a reason why I asked if you're from CGMI or if you're online. I asked that to tell you that online works with a whole lot of things, but most of the things online works with is pictures. Online works a lot, much more with pictures. Let me add videos because of TikTok. But you see platforms like Twitter, platforms like Instagram, yes, Twitter, mostly text. People would love to read what you're saying. But if you add pictures to it, it makes it even more convincing. And for church world, when your pictures are top standard, it says a lot about you, even you not being there. And so I discovered something, if you look online, that churches that are seemingly relevant online right now, they invest so much in their picture or media departments. They invest in their graphic designers. They invest in their videographers and photographers. They invest in their social media teams. I say that because when I take their level of presentation and I bring it to Church of God Mission, it doesn't seem to appear that much. It looks like we're still trying to get there. It also suggests something. It means we are not harnessing the skills that we have within us. I've also noticed that people would leave Church of God Mission with their skills, go to other ministries, and flourish with those things. It doesn't mean that we are not appreciated in Church of God Mission. It means that we feel that Church of God Mission holds us some form of exposure for us to be there. But we don't know that the church world is the best place of expression of your skill, growing your skill, giving value to your skill, and gaining more knowledge for and with your skill. And so what we do, individuals, we grow the skills in Church of God Mission, and then because we feel entitled, and I'll tell you why we feel entitled, we now take it outside to flourish in other places. Here's why we feel entitled. We feel like this our level of skill. The church is supposed to recognize it and start paying us. That's because the person that has that mindset is hungry. And I'll tell you why, and I've told you. It's because the person does not know how to make business from what he has. He's waiting for the holiness mindset that he has imposed on God to produce money from the church by saying, oh, this is your skill, let me invest in it, let me do this, let me do that, let me do this, which is not bad. But why are you waiting for church to approve you before you monetize your skills? Why are you waiting for that? I do graphics for my church. Once in a while, I do graphics for Faith Arena. But you see, I make sure that I am making money outside of church, so that when church is coming, I will be generous. I'm a generous giver to church. I am no longer hungry. I'm no longer waiting for church to pay me so that I can use my skill to serve the church. No. I'm getting money somewhere else. And so I'm using my skill to bless the church. That being said, my graphic design journey grew from pricing of 5,000 naira. I started getting people that would pay me 5,000 naira. I discovered that my skills can be paid 10,000 naira. And so with boldness and with struggling, I got my first 10,000 naira client. I'm like, this thing, they work. And so with boldness, I was doing 10,000 naira for quite some time. And then a time came when I felt like, I think it's time to up to 20,000 naira. And then with my full chest, I said 20,000 naira. And the person paid, I said, this thing, they work. In all of these things, I discovered that your pricing also comes with the value you offer. And so I focused on my value that I was going to offer. I increased my value to make sure that my value meet up with the price I was given. But before, I told myself, if somebody pays me 5 naira, I'm going to give the person a 50,000 naira quality. Well, that has come and gone because I've grown myself to the point where I can offer you a 500,000 naira logo. That's my new price range now. I have price range of 200. I have a price range for 500,000 for a logo design, and I have a price range for 700,000 naira for a logo design. This was somebody that grew from 5,000 naira up to this point. What has changed? Thank you. What has changed? What changed was I noticed that I was going to give value, and I grew my value. And how did I grow my value? I grew my value with tutorials. I grew my value with classes. I grew my value with working for companies and working for people, knowing the standard of what is accepted and what is not. And then final thing I did, I compared my works to people out there that are charging the amount of money that I wanted to charge and found out that I could do more than them. What was missing in them, in me versus them? What was missing was their ability to be confident in what they are doing. You have a skill. Be confident in it. Before I round up, I'm going to say this. If you're charging 5,000 naira for your work, you're going to see clients of 5,000 naira. If you're charging 10,000 naira for your work, you are going to see 10,000 naira clients. If you're charging 50,000 naira for your work, you are going to see 50,000 naira clients. So if you want the clients that will pay 200,000, you know what to do. My graphic design journey has not come to an end because I'm still on the path of learning and growing. The moment is shaking because they say AI has come to replace graphic designers. No, AI came to enhance. AI came to enhance my work. AI came to make work even easier for me. And so my curiosity did not stop just within me. I allowed my curiosity to grow in knowledge. Feed your curiosity with knowledge. Your curiosity will have answers. Those answers will be usable skills whenever you need them in the form of knowledge or in the form of practice. In my story, I told you, I dropped the way I designed to learn from another person. I dropped what I knew to learn something new. Always learn something new. Use what is available that you seem is new. Understand it first before you condemn it. Understand it first before you condemn it. Learn, grow every day. The more you grow, the more you find out that you cannot just compete, not just with the people around you, you can also see that you can compete with those outside. And if you can do that, you have a skill to offer and a service to offer. And if you have a service to offer, you will have problems to solve with that service. If you have problems to solve with that service, you will have clients that will pay for the solution of the services, to the services you are rendering. And if you do that, you will have clients that will not just pay you 5,000, but will pay you 500,000 and above. Graphic design has come to stay, not going away. Enhanced by AI, whatever means it's going to come, it will find its way in the scheme of things. Of course, they say it will go out, but it doesn't actually. It just gets advanced more and more. I had a lot to say, but they said I have 5 minutes. So I will stop here for now. I want to use this medium to appreciate the organizer of this program once again. Thank you, Mr. KBK, for the opportunity to speak on graphics design. As a graphics designer, do not stay hungry, grow confidence, grow your value, and charge more for your services. Thank you.
Please appreciate Pastor Bebra one more time. All right, thank you very much, sir. Keep on growing and charge. There's the part that he didn't mention. I'm sure it's among the plenty other parts that, time did not allow him to mention. But do we have any questions? Any questions from the audience? I'll take 2 questions. If there aren't any questions, we'll quickly move to the next speaker. But feel free to interact after the conversation today. He's here. He's not running away. So feel free to ask him any more questions you have. When you're hungry and you're charging and clients still charge, or you should bring your price down. Those kind of questions, you can hit him up later for answers. We'll be moving on to the next session, and we have no other person but Mr. Kigwe Kaiser. Can we celebrate him as he makes his way to the podium? Thank you, sir.
Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you, Mr. KBK. I want to start by saying thank you to our father, Bishop Feb, for creating this platform, Above Only Creatives. Please help put hands together for him. It's a solid initiative to help our people, CGMIs, and those who are outside the ecosystem to gain exposure. Even I have benefited immensely from his person and his wealth of knowledge. I want us to also put our hands together for the person who just came down now, Pastor Bebra. He is also one of us, and we've come a long way. I'll be speaking on, if you help me my slide, I'll be speaking on positioning yourself for global opportunities locally. Thank you, sir. It's been, so I have come as an individual, I've come through a journey, and this is where I am, because, all of us, at some point in our life, we are transversing and we're journeying through. So at the point where I am now, I am in a space where I am the thoughts and the imaginations I've always had, going through my tech growth journey. So the first question is why? Next slide, please. Why? Why do you want to venture into the space? The program is Tech Fusion. Some of us here have businesses that are still at probably the formative stage. Some of us have businesses that are brick and mortar. Some of us have businesses that have not started businesses yet. But the question is always why. This particular question made sense to me when, again, I would make a reference to our father, Bishop Feb. It made sense to me when he started asking the questions. There were 3 W's actually he started asking, but this one was asking particular was why? Why? Before you start anything, this is actually the question you should ask yourself. And the reason my why is not far-fetched from the fact that I wanted to live a life that did not make me. So I think basically the word is I don't like stress. Even though that word is a lie, but I didn't want a time in my life where I'll be running helter-skelter, I'll be doing 9 to 5, then I'll be finding something to complement it. I just wanted somewhere, I just wanted to be somewhere attending to the world. Do you understand? Just to be attending to the world, doing several things, but being in one spot. And that was how I started my path. I started as a digital marketer, social media marketer. I was doing Facebook for people, creating accounts, creating content, all of that. I was doing all of that. It was from one place, but it was for so many people. Where I am right now, I work for very few persons. I think 2 or 3, and it's from one spot. And so it makes my life easy. So that was my why. That was why I started where I started. For other people, they enjoy the fact of driving to the office, doing documents, the perception of having to, answer yes sir, all of that. And it's a beautiful thing. But this was my why. I wanted to be in one spot, doing several things or one thing and be comfortable, not necessarily going up and down. And when you get the why, it now takes you to the next slide. It takes you to staying persistent. When you ask people now, what do? You could spend an hour and you've not gotten what they get. What they do? Because they tell you, I did do this thing. But don't be letting I do. I also do this thing. The beauty of whatever I'll be sharing today with you is because I stuck with what I started with. And it's only metamorphosed. So just like the butterfly did not start out likely as a butterfly. It started out as what? A larva. From a cocoon to a butterfly. You get, so it's going to just be brick on brick like that. So everything I'm going to be sharing is staying the course on a particular journey, and I only evolved. So I started out as a content creator for people. I started out as a blogger when people were doing blogging. Then I was creating the content for the blog. So I was doing it for myself. Then when people saw it, they liked it. They liked it, and they asked me, who was doing this thing for you? I said, I was the one. And like, oh, okay, can you do it for us? I'm like, yes, I can. Now, coming back to where Pastor Bebra was talking about, how much will it cost for you to do it for us? I gave the charge. At the point, I was not that confident when I was doing it. So this is me starting the story now. I was not confident because I was still doing the things I was doing then was not that, it was not professional thing. But people that were reaching out to me, they wanted something that they could relate to what I was doing, and they wanted it for themselves because I took my time to do what I was doing. So they loved it. So I charged at the level I knew to charge. I had not gotten the education to make those charge. And I was doing it for them. That was how I ventured into being paid gigs for content creation. From content creation, I entered into social media advertising. From social media advertising, I had a long spell and I got burned out. Then I entered into remote jobs. So you see, I was persistent. Whatever you're doing now, stay the course. Stay the course. Be persistent. You don't know it all. Learn the ropes. Ask questions. Socialize. Socialization is not just with anybody, but with people in the sphere you are working on. Does it make sense? And also listen to people as well. Listen to resource. It might not be people that are working in your field. It might be people that might be somebody that says something that actually relates to what you are doing. Because we learn from everything that we see every day. True or false? True or false? Right. So, stay persistent. Then networking is the next thing, which is exactly what I said. Networking is crucial, actually. This is a networking event. As I'm talking to you, you are hearing my experiences. And after now, I'm guessing somebody might come up to me to ask questions, right? And even from my friends that know one or two about me, they might still hear things that they've never heard before, and they might ask me, "Oh, that thing you said," and that's a level and a base for networking. So network after church. Do not underestimate and do not overlook wherever you are. When I was blogging, because people might be silent on what they do. When I was blogging, I was doing a particular niche. It was a niche that had not started out. This was 2015. I was blogging on sports prediction, football prediction, 2014, 2015. That's what I was doing. Now, not everybody knew it. My friends that were around me did not know. So I sat down to think about it. They did not know because there was it was an anonymous blog. I never opened my mouth to tell anybody around my circle that I was blogging. Nobody knew. So I said that to say that there are people who are not loud on what they do. Pay attention. When you pay attention, you would observe. Because now, what is in vogue now is that we have a lot of people making noise on the internet who are not actually really doing the job. But if you pay attention, you will see those people. And when you see them, ask the right questions. And you will get answers. Leverage social media is the next slide. I'm not big on social media again as an individual. While I work for people on their social media, which takes me back to what I just said. If I don't tell you what I do as an individual, you would not know. That's because it's probably I allowed my person affect my thing, my work. Do you understand what I said? I allowed my personality affect rub of my work. Now, what I have is a leverage of having access to people who have given me things to do or I have worked with, people that mattered at the time that I worked the things I was doing. I'll give you an instance. 3 days ago, I was in a meeting online and somebody was calling me, somebody that I had worked with like 5 years ago. They called me and I had to cut the call. And when I was done meeting, I forgot. So the next day I called the person and they were like, "Oh, I'm sorry I missed your call. I was in a meeting, so and so and so." She was like, "Oh, okay. So I know you used to do these things for me before. The reason I called you is exactly because I want to start these things now, and I wanted to pick your brain." So I was listening to her because I didn't want to just tell her that, you know what, I've pivoted though, but I just listened to her, and while I was listening to her, an opportunity came from that opportunity from me listening to her that I now presented. So while I'm not on social media, I have people who are relevant that still trust me in the things I do. So those are the people that are now on my network people. The job that I have now is a job of someone referred me to somebody and to a 3 months contract. I did what I did and we're done. But I kept that person, high net worth individual. I kept the person who was still networking. And when the opportunity for where I'm working now came again, it didn't come as bare. She gave it to me to design something, a flyer for her to just, with Canva, design a flyer for me to just promote this thing. And I designed it and gave it to her. And I just asked, can I apply for this as well? And that was it. So network. No, Warren Buffett will say that. They say Warren Buffett, Warren Buffett, billionaire. They say the investments he makes, that gives him the money that he has made over time, he made it from what people have finished investing from. So he goes and puts money in that stock that still has like 4% to come out from. So he puts like billions of dollars in it. So he doesn't leave anything to dead. Do you understand? So those network, those people that you don't throw them away, just have them around. For having sake, service them. Good morning, ma. How are you, ma? It's been a while. Good morning, sir. Good morning, ma. Just keep servicing them. You never know what to come out of them. So network, social circles. Don't play with your network. It's Twitter. Am I active on Twitter? No, I'm not on our platform in church. I drop links. Like, I drop the links of jobs. I drop links of remote, on those platforms, on our church platforms, because I am there. I have to know what's happening, even though I'm not active. Things are happening per second. So, but for you, who is looking for something, network, as an individual, if I need something now, I know where to look out for. I know where to go to. I know what to do. All I have to do is to rearrange myself and start pivoting myself to that direction. So be deliberate about it. Let me tell you what people do. People block people because of comments they make on people's pages. It's that bad now. If I see a comment you make on Instablog, I have not met you. I have blocked you. because I do not want to ever associate myself with your thoughts. I just saw your thoughts and I blocked you. It has now cut off that opportunity, if it will ever happen, of you me networking with you. Does it make sense? So be intentional, be deliberate. Don't just take it casually. I think people mistake social media to be unreal. You know, because it says a lot. Social media is not real life. It's a lie. People have lost careers. People have lost their jobs. Countries have burnt down because of social media. You think about social media? Countries have gone. We almost went there now as a country, as a nation now. What do you call it? The Lekki shootout. All those things started from social media. So take it seriously. Take it as though you have seen me. I'm talking to you in real life now. Take it as serious as that. Don't downgrade. Don't downplay it. They know they see me. So if you talk with me, I won't talk. You don't know me. You know, don't do that. Don't do that. Take it seriously. Make the right statement. If you don't know what to say, if people are angry, if it's heated up, don't say anything. It's better you never said anything than on Sunday. On Sunday in church. I was speaking on an interesting subject on social media. And it's called the digital footprint. There's a thing called digital footprint. It means that whatever you do online, it never goes. If you delete a comment on social media, people who go their archives, he's a dev guy. The encourager is also here. If I can bring it out, it's waiting for you. So the day you have a job and you ever announce it, and I know your CEO, or I don't even have to know your CEO. All I have to do is just to carry the screenshot, tag your CEO on Twitter, and that's it. They are done. People have lost opportunity to be influencers of big jobs on social media. So leverage social media and be smart about what you are doing on social media. My design is not coming out right in this thing. My God. So yeah, deliberate about it. Leverage Facebook, Twitter, all your opportunities, TikTok. People are using to do dance and all that. Well, if your brand is not about that, be deliberate about it. Next slide. Be open to opportunities. Pastor Weber talked about this a bit. Some people say, when they are given opportunities, this is not my field, I will not do. I cannot do it. You know, they make that statement, Lord, this is not what I'm good at. I will not do it. There's a common statement made, and it was a popular guy that made. It was a guy that it was a musician, an artist, a musician that made that statement, and it rang the bell because in the context he said it, it was so vivid in my mind. It was Rick Ross. He was being interviewed, and he was saying the reason he's now a billionaire artist is actually because he never left money on the table. There are people who you give jobs and they tell you, job is beneath me. Even Timaya was the same thing too. People wonder how Timaya made so much money in music. It was at the time people were collecting 5 million, 10 million, and all that. Timaya was collecting 100,000 naira, 1 million naira. In his formative years, he was collecting those amounts. And he was amassing wealth while people were selecting what to collect. So for gigs that we offer 2 million naira and the artist is worth 10 million and he does not go, Timaya is going to take it up. So imagine collecting gigs of 2 million naira 5 times in a month. That's 10 million naira. And he has pocketed probably, after management and all that, he has pocketed probably maybe 6 or 5 million naira in his pocket for that month. So be open to opportunities. You are in church, but I guess I'm thinking that some of us, majority of us here are from churches. In your local assembly, if you're good in social media and your pastor says you should go and become admin, don't turn it down. Don't say no, you can't. We are not in the age where you can't learn anything. Anything is learnable. Let me tell you, there was a point in my life, that was about 3 years ago or so. I had to go and start learning data analysis. It was shocking. I had to go. In fact, it was almost at the point of my life that time. It was the worst point of my life. I had to put myself in that space to learn data analysis. Guess what? Did I know why I was learning it? No, I don't know why, but I was learning it. But it became relevant later. for me because where I work now, everything is about data. I work with Excel sheets. So nothing is irrelevant. If you are in a space and they need and you're in a workspace and I tell you they're adding something to your responsibility, don't because in promotion, that is the thing they'll consider. Maybe not in that space. You do not understand that where we are now is referral. The greatest I was listening to the owner of Landmark. He was making an interview he was doing an interview with a podcast with somebody, and he was talking about that the greatest his 80% opportunities he has ever gotten in life are from not his core people he just met, and those people from like people who heard of the things he has probably been doing, but they never had one-on-one contact. What I mean by that is that the person who refer you might not be directly involved with you, but just because you have taken up more responsibility and you are now valuable in a space, people will just naturally just refer you. So be valuable, make yourself valuable, make yourself, because when you are doing it, it's not actually really because of that space. So, have you ever noticed that when people say, I know do it again, and they come out, I'm a church boy, sorry, for example, this church, they don't value me, and they come out. Have you noticed that everybody have left the church, another person will come? Nature absorbs vacuum. Another person will come, he will see you, maybe not to your standard, but guess what? The church is an open field. The church is a canvas. Anything you do, it will take the shape of anybody that enters. Like organizations, for the ones that are high paying, it will take over time. The person will not adjust, now become better because the place is waiting for you to be better. It's not the structure will not miss you in a sense, but you just missed out on an opportunity. Because how life works is that, how God did life is that once you take up opportunities, doors begin to open. That's how it works. So in those times when those things come, because nothing happens for nothing, when those things, opportunity for you to expand and to, when they come, it means that a door is about to open. So you had better start taking up those things and start doing them. It's for your betterment. Am I making sense so far? Now the topic still remains positioning yourself for global opportunities, because you see, everybody's waiting, where the global opportunity? I'm talking local things. It's from a local place. Everything. Local place does not mean village. It just means where you are in that moment. Because everybody, let me tell you, everybody is listening to you. The world, everybody sitting down here, has 5 high network people they are attached to. I have 5 high network people I'm attached to that I know. So think about it. There's a brand guy here. Okay, how many of us know Megacon? Megacon. How many of us know Megacon? Megacon. There's somebody here who was in the aesthetic design of Megacon. He was in that space where it was designed. As beautiful as it was, the person who did that thing is here. So it gives you the sense of there's an opportunity for you in that space. All he has to just probably do is just take note of you. Do you understand what I mean? So it is not that I said network, and where you are, it's not of waste. Whatever you are doing, take it seriously. And whatever you are doing, make sure opportunities come, take it up. So locally, all of this now cumulatively amounts to opportunities that will eventually come globally. The next space is where I'll probably stay on a bit. Consider remote work. It's an advice. It's not that I don't think you should do it. It's an advice. That's where I am right now. If I take you back to my why, I am in the phase of my life where I'm living my thoughts. Every day I'm grateful for it. I do not enjoy. I go back to my first statement. I don't like stress. Even though there's no job that comes with its hassle. Do you understand? There are people who enjoy movement too. There are people who enjoy being in the office space and all that too. I love all that to me, but I do not like the fact that, I love the fact doing remote work and reporting remotely to people. I enjoy that time because it avails me of other opportunity to do other things. So I can be working remotely and I can go and visit a friend. I can decide to travel the world if I want to travel. I can have time for family, which is actually my real why. I did not want to not never have an opportunity where daddy will not be around for you, where I will never ever be available for my wife. That was my thought. That was the reason why I chose and I said, consider remote work, and that was my why. So you can, it's beautiful. Whatever you want for your life, it's beautiful. And these thoughts were like over a decade ago. I started conceiving these thoughts. Like, it's possible. It's possible to have that kind of opportunity where you work from a space where you can do everything and not move everywhere. So consider remote work, because remote work gives you an opportunity to have time for you. Because we live in a society where we have multi-potentialites, people who have talents in so many things. You can have talents in not only the work that you do. We have someone here who is a event decor, Mrs. Agbola. Please put your hand together for her. She's an event decor. But at the same time, in my church, she's an admin. Do you understand? She's an admin. I can guess if I ask her now, she can have interest in maybe 3 other things. And as an individual, it's one of the things that we do not know that worries us, that affects our mind, is that is the ability to do so much and not be able to do that thing that you're thinking. But we don't know that it's affecting our mind. If you clearly think about it, if you have a generator that can power a stadium and it's just used to power this place, you are underusing that generator. In fact, over time, that generator will pack up because you're underusing it. That's how it is with us. So it is. But we'll eventually get there. But before we get there, my advice is that you should consider and start positioning yourself. What does positioning mean? Start learning the basic things. Even though you don't know, learn Microsoft Word, Office, learn Excel, learn the apps. Go online, research on the apps that avail you the opportunity to be able to network with people on workspaces, Teams, Zoom. Some people do not know how to Teams, Zoom. Some people do not know how to create Zoom links to date. And that is actually a skill. People on Udemy. Yeah, Udemy. Yeah, people learn how to navigate YouTube. So learn all those things. It's actually really very, very important. Next slide. Now, this is why I said everything I said, because truly, there is a globalization in the job market. What that means is what that big English means is that some offices they've left the 4 walls of a building and they've gone online. They are online. Think of online, what online is. That is what it is, online. So their offices are online. The CEO of a big company in the US can have a branch office in Nigeria without being in Nigeria physically. Where I work, we just went there and do a hangout last month here, and the CEO just flew in. Guess what happened? So he was saying, I can't get the emails and all that. What I just, as we were talking, I just went on Google and I typed in how to get emails of, and there was an app that could reveal the email of people of these guys, yeah, even to their own personal emails. So yeah, job globalization, that's where we are currently. The next slide. And this is the last slide. This is the last part. Draft the right resume and CV. They say that we over here we are shortchanged because there are people who still put certain things on their CV. I can bet that some people still put local government of origin on their CV for jobs that are looking for remote, that are looking for internationally. There are some things that don't apply. There are certain things that don't apply anymore in the world. Certain things don't apply anymore. Drafting the right resume, right, will get you the right one. Will attract you global opportunities without you leaving your local area. So let's quickly dive into the next slide. The difference between a resume and a CV. Now, this picture shows you the difference between a resume and a CV. Now, a resume showcases competence, work history, accomplishments. It is used for particularly any job. Typically concise. That's one page. That's a resume. So, for example, if you want to look for, if they tell you social media, content creator, and all those things, it's a resume. It's a one-page thing. Don't go and give the person 5-page. And don't add local government of origin. Next slide. Sorry, no, stay here. Then for the CV showcases credentials, certification. And this one is for an example. If you actually want to look for a professional job, for a doctor, you want to be a doctor, as a lecturer, a CV is actually what you present. But a resume is what you present for jobs that are informal. Does it make sense? So the next slide now. Importance of a well-crafted resume. Your CV is the first impression. They say first impression matters. Dressed how you want to be addressed. Your CV is your first impression. People read through it and they know who you are already. If it's not well-crafted, if it's ambiguous, if it's tiring, people have short attention span right now. A lot of people are doing so many things at the same time. They don't have the time to listen to so many things that you have to say. So make it brief and make it very important. If you're not doing that, you're losing people's attention, right? And it's essential you tailor your resume to showcase your skills, in a way that resonates with global employers. Be speaking terms. People don't understand. People don't understand. I have worked with Mama Jericho for 5 years. No. Numbers. With this, I'm giving you an instance. With this and this, I've been able to draw. My company has been able to make 1 million naira in a month. Now, a CEO is listening to you already. Don't bore them with so many ambiguous statements. Then a well-crafted CV can open doors to opportunities you never thought were possible. Next slide. Now, what's the key components of an effective resume? Now, pay attention, please. Contact information, summary or objective, work experience, education, skills, achievements, and language. Now, I'll read through, then I'll talk about the last one. Contact information, summary or objective. Now, that summary is what I talked about. With this thing, I was able to do this, and all of that. Work experience, education, skills, achievement. Now, language. Languages, we probably might think that it's only when we want to go abroad we go and do IELTS. With the job global market, your employer wants to know if you know how to speak English and you're competent with English. Now, I dropped a link there. There's a link. efcert.org will help you with certification. It's free with certification. They help to certify people who have to speak, proficiency in English. That site, if you go through it, it's free. Just do your certification and get a certificate and attach to your CV. efcert.org. You can also be proficient in multiple languages. Nothing stops you for saying that I know how to speak French or Spanish or anything. Next slide, please. I'm running short on time. Next slide. Tailoring your CV for global opportunities. Research. Research, cultural sensitivity, global experience, and remote skills. Now, research. Understand the requirements and preferences of your global employers, your industry. Research what you are applying for. Don't just go and dump your CV and say, they will guess because of what I have. Then, cultural sensitivity. Be mindful of the cultural differences in formatting. I'm not sure a lot of people know that there is American and there's British English. Learn to type. If you are sending a CV to an American employer, type in American English, the spellings. For example, favor, F-A-V-O-U-R. That's our English, England. That's England. America, there's no U in America. Center is not spelled C-N-T-E-R. Center is not spelled, center for us is R-E. Center for them is E-R. Do you get that? So be mindful of all these things. Then global experience. Highlight. This part is going to make me mention one thing for you. Please look out for volunteering experiences. Volunteer. Go online. Look for volunteering experiences because they will help you. For weird reasons, I know, but maybe it sounds weird to our hearing. For weird reasons, employers favor those who volunteer. Volunteer just shows that you are a good person and you have sense. Remote work skills. Emphasize your ability to be able to work remotely because people don't have time to be employing those who are not diverse. That's why I said take up opportunities when they come. Does it make sense now? Take up opportunities when they come because you would emphasize it in your CV that, oh, I can work without being present, without you supervising me. I can work all of that. I can do all of that. Next slide, please. Format and design tips. You will notice that for my slide, the typing were weird, right? The design on that major side was weird, right? When you are doing your CV, keep it simple. Don't use one Arial for the header and go and use Calabari for keep it simple. Don't go and do font riot on your CV. The font size should be standard font, maintain consistency. The length, aim for a concise CV, typically no more than 2 pages, right? Sections, organize them. Then proofread, double check. Don't go and, some people, they'll go and format CV and forget to remove some things. Double check. Because now we know that Google have put on send mail, but that on send is only a few seconds. Imagine you now remember after you have sent your boss a mail for probably a job, a job you are trying to apply for a job of social media, and sending a CV of what now? Huh? Exactly. So it's, proofread. Next slide. Leverage on technology. There are appliances that can help match job and CVs. There are sites that can help match job and CVs. There are people who talk about that. There are some people who talk about AI today, and they are all AI platforms. Your CV to match keywords and phrases that are relevant to job descriptions. The link to those platforms are on this PDF, and I'll call one of the websites. The one I'm about to call cultivatedculture.com was given to me by my wife. Now that platform, that AI platform, you can be able to put your CV and it tells you where you made error and the percentage of the key phrase you have to use that will match what you are applying for. Online profile. Enhance your online presence through platforms like LinkedIn and ensuring consistency with your CV. So just after your CV is not enough, but a platform that also best works as a CV is LinkedIn. So you have to be professional about it. You have to be very deliberate about what you post on LinkedIn and talk about on LinkedIn. Then showcase your CV through online portfolios. Your online portfolios, like I said, LinkedIn is one of them. Use LinkedIn as your CV and leverage technology. Next slide. After all said and done, I want you to know that everything you are doing right now is leading you to an opportunity that would come globally. Take it seriously. Social media, interactions, networking, relational, everything you are doing right now, it is important. It is brick on brick, layer on layer. Every interaction, every post, every comment, every retweet, every repost, every like. Some of you will be shocked. Your like can dissuade an impending employer from employing you. Be careful, be vigilant, and be observant. Thank you.
How many of us were enlightened by that conversation? It had so much in and so much content. It's just, I wouldn't say unfortunate, but we just have limited time. So we want to take advantage of. So I would encourage each and every one of us to please have our WhatsApp phone numbers sent in before the end of the session so that all the slides will be communicated is taken in so that you'll be added to the Above Only Creative channel or the platform so that you get access to all the slides that are given. Now, one thing what I said from the beginning, we are getting new information. There are some things he mentioned that I have not heard before. You know, I know many of us know, they'll say send CV, you send resume. They say send resume, you send CV. Difference between CV and resume, it's clearer now, right? And some of the things that he also mentioned, I'm sure they are elaborated on the slide. So please take advantage of what you are learning, because one thing is going to happen, like he said, each thing we are hearing is going to push us towards an opportunity. It's going to push us towards an opportunity. And it's my desire that each and every one of us leverage these opportunities for the best. All right, we'll be moving on to the next session very quickly. And this session will be taken by no other person but Mr. Andrew Enodolonwanyi, the one we call Dane Cora. Please put your hands together as he makes his way to the podium.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon, everyone. How are we doing today? Have you been enjoying the talk so far? Praise the Lord. All right, so let me talk normally now. My name is Andrew Nodolonwanyi. I am also Dane Cora. I am a rapper, singer, songwriter. I do many things. But for the purpose of this talk, I am a software engineer. And so when I was told that I was going to do this, I now started racking my head on what exactly I would talk on, because I am someone that I do the hard things, the things that it's hard to explain to people who are not already doing it. So I don't want to confuse. So I decided to bring it down. So what I'm talking about is the myth of perfection. There's the slide on the screen. The myth of perfection. Building resilience in your tech career. So I'll be speaking to pretty much anybody that wants to go into tech, but especially if you want to go into software engineering. There's this myth of the perfect start, which is essentially you see somebody like when I started, the first time was during IT when I was in school. And during my IT, I went to CCT to learn web design. And I learned HTML and I learned CSS. And thankfully, I still got an A because all my other colleagues went to NEPA. Because I studied electronics engineering, so it didn't really have anything to do with it. But to God be the glory. And when I came back from that to go through final year and then come back, I now was practicing on YouTube, learning how to build websites. But then everything really changed. Like I really became serious with it during my NYSC because during my service, I served at the company that I work in now, which is PSDC. And the reason why I stayed was because of my HOD, who was the one that built the school portal that BIU uses. And there's something that Bishop tells us, Bishop Feb, which is, if you find somebody that's doing what you're doing 2 times and then learn from them. So I now decided to stay on in that. The reason why I will be in that company is because of him, because I want to learn from him. Because there's only so much you can glean from tutorials. There's only so much you can glean from lectures. There's only so much you can glean from conferences. It is the amalgamation of everything that then would make you a whole programmer or a whole person, as the case may be. So I did that, and I started learning. He uses a language that I don't use currently, and that is actually what I am going to talk about, is the myth of the perfect start. Your products or skills do not have to be perfect for you to start. You don't look at somebody that is on level 100 and you're on level 1 and then feel that for you to start, you must be at level 100. You don't feel that because Ryan Dahl created React or because Taylor Otwell created Laravel, that you now need to be able to create your own framework for you to be successful, for you to be good, for you to think that you are ready to enter these spaces. You can just use what is already there. I don't create anything. I just use what is already there. You leverage on existing technology, because the core thing of being a programmer is not actually the technology. What we are at our core is we are problem solvers. You look at a problem holistically. What do you want to build? I want to build Facebook. What is Facebook? Facebook is a way for you to connect with people. So it means I should be able to go there, post a picture that has to relate with me. Somebody else needs to be able to log in to their own account and through their account see what I posted. That is essentially what it is. Everything else is just building on top of that basic idea. But the basic idea is where you start. You don't start at the end. You don't look at what Facebook is now and then feel that it is too big, so I should not start. You start at where they started. All right. So 3 pillars of career resilience. I was trying to dress everything up, so that it looks all professional, not just me talking from my head. So the first pillar is the art of unlearning. The second pillar is building your human firewall. And the third one is embracing failure as a feature. What does this mean? The art of unlearning is a very critical one that I see when I see certain, let's say, older programmers or people that started coding. They might not necessarily be old, but they've been doing it for a while. So they tend to remain where they were when they started. They don't. How many people here know about programming languages? Like, if you do, just raise your hand up. Okay, you do. Okay, that's good. So which programming language do you know? HTML? The basics. Okay. So now let me correct something. HTML is not a programming language. HTML is a markup language. It's in the name. Hypertext markup language. CSS is also not a programming language. It is a styling system, cascading style sheets. You understand? So a programming language is something like PHP. It's something like Java, something like C#, something like Python. Python is probably the most popular one that people know, or Java, because you see it in different places. So because in the certain field or in the niche that you have chosen for yourself in programming, you now say that this language is the best. There's nothing better than this language. Everything I do will be in this language, even though there are other languages that are better suited. If you want to do data analysis, Python and R are better suited for it. You can do data analysis in JavaScript, But why would you? So this is the myth that a lot of people fall into. The first language that they learn, they found a level of success with it. And then you are now trying to do something else. You're trying to achieve something else. You then force your language that is not meant for that thing into that field. And then when you now go for applications, as Kigwe said, in terms of tailoring your resume to what you're applying for, you then cannot really get those opportunities because you don't have the language they are looking for. You are applying for a data analysis or a data science job, and the only thing on your CV is Java. They are not looking for you. If you then want to get that thing, you would spend time learning Python. You would build a practice project in Python. You would participate in open source contributions in Python so that they see that you have competence in Python. When you apply, you would be considered. So it is not just that you know how to write code. It is that you are using the relevant technology for the job you are seeking. Are we following so far? Okay. Alvin Toffler said the illiterates of the 21st century will be not those who cannot read and write, but those who cannot learn and unlearn. Let go of professional arrogance and always be humble to learn new and relevant technologies. This is essential and something that I see a lot of people fall into. I have learned PHP. So you are not trying to use PHP to build mobile apps. That's not what it was meant for. Why are you doing that? But then because of the professional arrogance of, I know this thing well enough, it's not as if it cannot be done. Somebody's working on it right now. It's not as if it cannot be done. It's just not what it's meant for. So you are shoehorning things into where they are not meant to be. You don't use PHP to build a system that is measuring blood pressure. You will die. You understand? You will die. So for every job, every project has what it's meant for, and then you use the relevant thing. So the second one is building your human firewall, which is very important. This is essentially networking. As long as you keep meeting people, you come to meetups like this, you go to conferences, you talk to your coworkers, you talk to other people that are also doing what you want to do or are doing what you are doing. And these are people that are forward-thinking. I think that's the best way to describe it. They are forward-thinking. You would not fall into the trap of thinking that where you are is where you will always be. In the early 2000, like let's say 2010, 2008 to 2012, the most viral language that they would say you should learn is PHP. Then from that time onward, it now became JavaScript, and now it is TypeScript. Python was popular. It went down in popularity. It is popular again because it is what a lot of people that do machine learning use, which is for AI and machine learning. They use Python. So it is now popular again. But it's not popular in web development, but it is popular in data science, machine learning, and artificial intelligence. So the one that you choose is based off what you are trying to achieve, what niche you are going into. I am a web developer. My primary language is C# and PHP. These are languages that are for, PHP is for the web. C# you can use to do everything, which is why I chose it as my first language. The choices that you make will determine the kind of career you will have, and also your willingness to shed those choices. I started with C#. I want to do everything in C#. Now, almost every project that I do, that I start now, is in PHP because of simplicity. I'm trying to do things quickly. So the choices, that your willingness to let go of what was, not being married to a language or a technology, a framework that I spent so much time learning this thing, why will I relearn again? As long as you are constantly learning, it is not that big a deal. And it would help you in your career as you move. So connecting beyond your teams, focus on giving more than receiving. This is a very important part, and it helped me grow a lot when I started. In my office, we get interns, people doing IT, and I train them. Now, you would see me training them as a selfless thing because, I'm not being paid for it. And in some way, it is kind of a selfless thing. But really, it's how I reaffirm what I know. You learn better teaching people. So you teach others, and you would then be able to, because for you to really explain something, you have to know it. So when I would have classes with them, I would have to study to be able to break it down to people that don't understand it the way I already understand it. There are things you take for granted that you know, but when you are explaining it, you then see the vastness or the depth of what you actually know when you are trying to break it down into something that children will understand. I'm saying children as if I'm that old. But anyways, so now, the last one, and I really like this one, is embracing failure as a feature. This is essentially that everybody at some point fails. If you are not failing, you are not trying. I have taken almost every project that I've done, I have like a 90% success rate. The 10% is a job that they asked me to do something, and the time was not enough. So I failed. Technically, I was supposed to meet a deadline for something, and I didn't meet the deadline. I still built the app. But technically, I failed. So I know next time not to tell you that I can do it in this time. So I failed. It's a lesson that you learn. Several companies, there's an entire website called Killed by Google, which is a home to all the apps they've built that they have killed because they failed. These kind of things. So it is not for you to start something and then it doesn't work out. Doesn't necessarily mean that your idea is wrong. It could be your execution is wrong. Sometimes it could be your idea is wrong. Don't be married to executions. Don't be married to ideas. Be married to success. As long as you succeed, that is what is more important. I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work. That was by Thomas Edison. And in conclusion, your career is a marathon, not a sprint. Start somewhere, and you will definitely reach somewhere as long as you start. You cannot succeed if you do not first start. Thank you very much. Sorry about that. So, are there any questions? Does anybody have any questions about becoming a software engineer? Yes, ask a question. Yes. Hypertext markup language. It's a markup language. It's used to write the structure of things. It is not a programming language. Is used for algorithms and for iteration. It does not have any of those things. You can't use HTML to write a loop. You cannot use HTML to, if it is like this, do this. If not, do this. HTML doesn't do that. It just describes the structure. That's why we describe it in terms of the human body. HTML is the skeleton. It is just there. CSS is what adds the skin. It's what makes you look how you look. While JavaScript is what makes you move. It adds behavior. That is the fundamental of the web. All right. Is there any other question? Are we all good? Come on now, last question. Software engineering is a discipline that deals with software. Let me answer like my interns. Software engineering is engineering software. What software engineering is building solutions using technology, building digital solutions using technology, using programming languages to power those solutions. That's the basis of what software engineering is. Any more questions? Yes. Feel free to ask questions. Don't worry. I would say pick frameworks that are relevant to your environment. Like now, in Germany, the biggest programming language there, if you are trying to get a job, is C. In England, it is C Sharp. But in America, in Silicon Valley, it is Java, TypeScript, and Golang. So if you're in those areas, that's what you learn. In Nigeria, it is anything, because we do everything. But you would see a lot of PHP in Nigeria. You would see a lot of C Sharp, especially if you want to work for banks. Most major banks use C Sharp or Java for, as I say, C Sharp is for serious things. And if I'm doing play things, then I will use PHP. But C Sharp is for serious things. So that's it. You can learn software engineering online. There are resources like the Odin project, which can give you a step-by-step way to learn at least the fundamentals of the web. You have Free Code Camp, which technically can teach you everything, even electrical electronics engineering. They have courses for everything. So as long as you have data, you can learn anything. So it's more of a willingness to learn. That's actually the biggest thing. I used to encourage people to learn software engineering, then I stopped. Because a lot of them will go into other things and start doing graphic design, UI, UX. Some of them become project managers. They don't want to write code because it's hard. All the other ones are hard too, but they just think that this one is, like people walk past my laptop and just think that I'm writing in tongues. It's English for the most part. It's English. So the biggest thing is your willingness to learn. If you are willing to put your mind into it, we earn more than other people. It's just as hard. It's like kind of like medicine. Like you see people come out from medical school after 9 years, then you see their big salaries, you'll be like, oh, you just started just now, look at his salary. Yes, but look at what he went through. It's the same thing. Look at what I went through. I don't sleep. Look at my eyes. This is not normal. Look at Pastor God. That's how it is. So if you are willing to, you would make a lot out of it. And in terms of remote work, we work from everywhere. I go to the office when I have to go to the office. I don't have to be there. And that's an advantage, something that I really love about my job. I just show up when I'm needed for a meeting, or just because I don't want to use my own data, I use the company's data. That's just the truth. That's part of why I go to the office, is to manage data. So yes, any other questions? Free apps. Okay. The major one is just going on YouTube. I would never say you should go to Udemy yet to pay for a course. Free Code Camp really is something that you can learn a lot from. That's where I learned C# from. That's where I learned, Laravel I learned from. There are Laravel instructors for that. And once you can learn one well, learning everything else, I know about 7 languages. Once you learn one well, the rest of them is just slight differences in syntax. I wrote Python code. I have never learned Python. So that's it. Once you start, you know it well enough, know one well enough. Everything else is just, how do they do this thing in this language? You know what you want to do. So that's it. Any other questions? All right, so let me hand over. Thank you very much.
Sir, you people did not ask what is syntax. What he says is all about syntax. What's syntax? It's synchronizing the tax. Come on. All right, let's put our hands together one more time for the Nkora. This has been super awesome so far. So far. All right. The next speaker is somebody that has already been used as an illustration. And one of the things is, You know, the truth is, I've seen how we have started. I know how we started. I know the journey, right? And I can tell you how much has been done so far by the people we are talking about, the people we are interfacing with, the people we are having conversations with. You know, in this place, it doesn't look like it's an international, we don't have international audience. But the people that are seated here, they are people. This person I'm about to bring up is a people. Only him is a people, all right? And he has, you know, like Kigo was talking about, the branding of the mega convention of Church of God Mission International. This is our international convention from connecting all our churches across the world, right? Our pastors from Canada, from US, from Burundi, from different countries of the world. And this is someone who such a global ministry can rely on for the design and aesthetics of such a conference, right? So I want you to know that this conference, these conversations we're having now are not just to be conversations. These are conversations that if you take the things that are being discussed here, you can make a difference in your business, in your career, and in your life. So I'd like to indulge us to please put our hands together as I make welcome no other person but, which one should we use? Pastor Endurance, the brand guy, well, we know him as the brand guy. Please put your hands together for Endurance.
Good afternoon, everybody. At the point, I did not know they were talking about what I had branding, Megacon. Thank you, sir. Thank you for this opportunity. Big thanks to our daddy, Bishop, our father. Please, let's clap. Okay. Thank you, sir, Dr. KBK. I've known Dr. Kolak. I was a very small boy. So he's daddy to me. He knows. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you, Pastor God. Thank you for everyone that have been talking. I've been blessed. Trust me. So I'll try to be very fast. I'll talk about AI and the future of work. We're having the discussion, myself and Dr. KBK, and I was discussing, and I told him that for someone that has been in the space for a lot of time, I think some of you may not know, I did Agape first year, Faith Arena. Yes. Thank you. At the point, Reverend Clement joined our Tech Academy. As at that time, that was about 10 years ago, or probably 15. I don't remember. But we're students in the same tech school, and as at 2009, 2010, I've already finished the whole Adobe suite. I've done programming, C#, C++, Adobe Premiere, Photoshop, CorelDRAW, all the courses you know about tech. I've finished it as at 2012, because when Jam was not working, hello, when Jam was not working, my mom told me, just go and learn something, go and learn computer. And I remember I left home and I went to GRA. That was the first time ever I entered GRA. But I was like, Abraham, just go to somewhere where we show you. So I told myself, I will not learn in my environment. There's this place called GRA. And I was very young. So I went to GRA. I stopped at water resources. Then there was a tech school close by. I entered, but the Spirit of God said, this is not the place. Then I left, and I was just walking. I did not know where I was going to. Then I found a particular place. When I entered, my spirit settled there, and I knew I was supposed to be there. And I stayed there for I was the longest staying student. I even became a family member. Yeah, I stayed there for 2 years plus, and I was able to learn a lot of things. And some of the things you see me do right here is as a result of the many training I've received over the years. Yes, and as someone that have started startup companies, we got funded last year by Bill Gates Foundation, one of our startup companies. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Some thousands of dollars. Okay, so and we are launching an AI platform uh, before the end of the year. So I think I know a thing or two to talk about when it comes to AI and when it comes to tech, because I've actually started developing websites when we're using Dreamweaver, using tables to create containers. Yeah, so I've stayed in this game for a while. So AI. The next slide, please. We cannot talk about AI without going back to history, without looking to where we are coming from. We have to go back to see what happened and why we are going to where we are going to and why we are where we are. Okay, and this conversation started from the next slide. Okay, this is the particular issue that we have, the only issue we have in science, tech, and all of that. It's when God said, let us make man in our own image and after our likeness, and let them have dominion over the fish and the sea, and over the fowl of the air, and over the cattle, and over all the earth, and over every creeping thing that creepeth upon the earth. This is where the problem started. Because God gave us God in us, right? He made us gods, and He gave us that thing that created us, and He breathed it into us. So that's curiosity started from the very first day, and we started to not have this. We just know that there's more. There's this feeling of more that has always been. It was there. It was God. It's the God in us that tells us that there's more. There's dominion somewhere, and when you are done conquering a particular place, there's still something that tells you that there's more. And that's why you have to wake up to go to work, because you think that there's something more. You have to look for more money, even as much as you have gotten, you think there's something more. There's always this more, there's more, I should get more, I should do more, I should be more, and all of that. Because this particular verse is where it all happened, when God said, let us make man in our own image. Let us give him the likeness, our likeness. And that is where tech, science, innovation, and everything, that's where it started. Because at the end of the day, it was going to make started. They call it Industry 101. The mechanization started. They call it Industry 101. The mechanization industry. You can go to the backslide. Okay, fine. No, it's fine. Thank you. So the Industry 1.0, the mechanical revolution, late 70s to 80s. And basically, what did these guys do? They basically invented steam engine, and they tried to mechanize the whole labor system. They wanted more from, they felt it's not okay for man to do everything. Machines can actually do something. Let's build something that can do something. And remember, it's still that God factor in man that was speaking. Let us create something. We have been doing these things ourselves, but we can actually recreate something. And the Industry 1.0 started. The core technology was water and steam power, mechanical production equipment, e.g. the steam engine, mechanic loom, and all of that. What changed? Shift from handmade goods to workshop to machine assistant factory production. And one of the industries that this was very beneficial to was the clothing industry. They had to look for a way to clothe themselves. And remember, that is the man, the God in man that was talking. So they had to think of, even if, okay, there's food, we can eat raw food, but let us look a little bit different. Let us shelter ourselves, right? So the first industry that was struck with this was, or one of the first industries that was struck with this was the fashion industry. They had to create machines and all of that to ensure that production was easier and faster. Yeah. So and jobs changed taking. Remember, we are talking about AI and the future of work, because there's this controversy: will AI take over our job? Is AI bad? Is AI this? Some churches are already preaching that AI is from the devil. Not Church of God Mission churches, obviously. Okay, so what changed? Job change, taking skill, artisans, weavers, and all of that. Saw their handcrafting skill devalued by faster, cheaper mechanical looms. were technicians that needed to look over these machines and even use the machines. Those were the jobs that were created when the first type of skill went on extinct, right? So this has always been. AI is not, or the controversy about AI, the labor system as at that time, they actually went to some of these factories and destroyed a lot of these machines because they were scared. They said that people were building machines that were taking their jobs away from them. Next slide, please. Industry 2.0, the electrical revolution. So we usually say Industry 1.0 is mechanization, 2.0 is electrification. Yeah, this was the part around 90s. This was the part where they thought about, let us now have light, let's have electricity, let us get more bigger machines, and for you to get bigger machines, you can no longer have people to work to make these machines work. Let's look for something that can power these machines, and so we do not have to get people to power them. So electricity was better. A lot of these things were better. And what changed? Standardization and extreme efficiency in production. A Ford, you know the Ford, right? The Ford moving assembly line. Some people were positioned even in that era, taking advantage of what was happening. And guess what? The labor system also did a protest, a big protest, saying that Industry 2.0 was taking their jobs, and it was not fair for light to be taking their jobs because they actually wanted to produce light by themselves with their power and all of that. So, but Ford was positioned, and some industries started around that era. Some industry that started around that era they are still here, and they are still doing some great stuff. Yeah. So, next slide. Job created was electricians, because you need people to oversee all of this invention and all of that. So, Industry 3.0, the digital revolution. This is in the 90s, in the 20s. Where they started to talk about semiconductors, they started to talk about systems, talk about computers and all of these capacitors and all. The world was evolving. So they were trying to look for a more compact way of generating electricity. They were looking for faster, easier ways of doing what they were doing before, which is the God in us talking, right? 3.0. So what changed? Automation in simple logical tasks and calculations through electronics and IT. Job changed, taking routine, clerical, and administrative jobs were its hardest. Roles like typist. You know, back then, if you tell a signage writer or those guys that use pens to write something and tell them that their job was going on, they'll tell you it's not possible. It's not possible. We go there. Everybody will still come use us. Yeah, but at the end of the day, the computer era brought into the world printing, digital printing, which at the end of the day, the people that were using colors and all of that to print, most of them lost their jobs. The smart ones actually went to buy the digital printers, and they were still in business and were making a lot of money. Hello? Okay. We've talked about position, right? We've talked about position. I haven't checked the Industry 1.0, 2.0, 3.0. Now, the next slide. And remember, when there's, if you invent computer, you have to invent a computer engineer. Have you noticed that in that movement? When there is something created, there has to be somebody that controls or operates that thing that is being created. It will not operate itself. It will not repair itself. It will not do a lot of the things it's doing itself, right? So new jobs are being created. 4.0. Now, because there were computers now, after the 3.0, we had a lot of issues with cybersecurity, fraud. I still remember I was going to Big Bigs. Who remember Big Bigs? At that time, doing Yahoo, not it's Yahoo, the other Yahoo. I mean, the email Yahoo. Yes, and you go there and you buy tickets and you send an email to somebody. Yeah, exactly, 10 minutes, 5 minutes, and all of that. So because of all of that, there was need for us to have police online, like cyber cyber experts that will ensure that your your data is not just will not just go like that, because people were giving a lot of information to their computers, to their mobile devices, and everything, and the internet in general, and a lot of persons were taking advantage of this data, and we needed to have cyber experts and all of that. So it was also a revolution called Industry 4.0. What happened? Smart autonomous system that communicate with each other, humans in real time, smart factories that can run largely independently. Job created. Job involve middle management, routine analysis, predictable physical work, and all of that. So basically, when that era came, we also needed people to manage the new innovation, the new era. A lot of persons still protest. A lot of people protested and said this era was taking our job. Yes, even the AI era now, a lot of people are still protesting that AI is going to take away our job. So it talks about positioning. There's no era that will come that will not need a human. No error at all. But then, some people thought about this and said, let us disrupt this thinking. Let us be cognitive about the next era. And they said, let us build man that can think for himself, do stuff itself. All you just have to do is expose it to data, machine learning and all of that. And the AI industry was built. Next slide. Next slide. Next slide. And that is where we are going to. We are not there yet. If you think AI is doing anything significant yet, we are not there yet at all. In fact, for me as a startup founder, we are working on 2 projects. AI, we call it H2. H2, hospitality and earth. We are building a hospitality platform that should be launched in November thereabout. Then we are building a earth platform. Why I was designing, or every time I design the product interface, I'm seeing possibilities of things that even me cannot even imagine. And the sweetest part is I don't even think about a lot of things. I ask AI to think about it. The AI thinks about it and tell me what is possible. So if you think AI is doing a lot of stuff now, just imagine what people are building. And I'm talking about this from what I know, because that's what I'm doing. Imagine what people are building, self-driving cars. In fact, there might be self-driving planes. So there are a lot of things that eventually will happen. But with this takeover work, it will not take over work, but it will take over some work. Will it take over jobs? It's going to take over some jobs. And at the end of the day, it's going to complement it by creating more jobs. Some years ago, you could be a copywriter, and it's a big deal. Is this still a big deal? I don't know. Is this still a big deal? Copywriting, is this still a big deal? I don't know if you are telling me that, because I asked somebody, what do you want to do? He said copywriting. I almost said, just need that, let me pray for you. Because this one will not go except with, because, come on. If somebody, like we say in business consulting, if somebody will be smart enough to employ a copywriter, that person should be smart enough to use a ChatGPT. Right? Because copywriting, first of all, if you check from Adesuwa Junction to the end, you will not see anybody that has employed a copywriter. At times, that's how you check to know jobs that will stay and jobs that will not stay. If you probably take from Sapler Road to Bypass, if there's somebody that has employed a copywriter since the last 6 months, it could be 1 or less. Because how do you tell an Igbo man that says Smith that needs copywriting? Hello? Is copywriting a skill? Yes, it is. Is it a good skill? Yes, it is. But it needs to have something to complement it. You cannot just say, I'm a copywriter and that's what I do for a living. So there has to be a lot of other things that you know, like probably digital marketing, social media management, and every other extras that now makes your skill relevant. But being a copywriter just a copywriter, there are still jobs for it. Yeah, there are jobs for copywriters, but the percentage of the people that want copywriters compared to the amount of people that call themselves copywriters, you just know that there's no market for you. You know, Fiverr in those years used to be a thing, but now is this still a thing? Upwork and all of those things. Is this still a thing? No, not tell me now. Talk to me. Talk to me. Okay, good. Now, the challenge with Upwork and the reason why experts do not like to go to Upwork, Fiverr, and all of this is because the market is now so much, right? Whatever you are charging for, like Pastor Bebra now can say his logo is 500,000. There's somebody there that just need 101K. My office is close to First. I can tell you, people are still designing logo for 1,000 naira. Yeah, so for a market like that the scale at which we measure what excellence is and what value is really not standardized. So at the end of the day, the value we give looks relative, except for somebody that have studied and know what that value is. Hello? Software engineering, for example, we have two people that develop apps, for example, and the problem is solve a problem that will take a car from point A to point B. The two developers may be able to take that car from point A to point B, but one may be able to do a better job, and the better job the other one will do, the client may not even be aware. Hello? Now, the value is now relative to the understanding of what the client sees as value, which the client may not even know what value is or what the extra value you are giving. For example, I know a lot of business people, when you tell them, my logo costs S, they will like, but I've been doing this business for 10 years, and all the time I've been paying 1,000 naira for it. So even if you give a logo of 10 million naira, the person is never going to value it, because the person does not even understand what brand identity is. The person does not understand what brand strategy is. The person does not understand how an iconic mark or a letter mark expresses the values of the business. Are we on the same page? And so it means that the value of copywriting now lies in the people that understand what it is, which at this point is very low. And the people that now understand it know that there are a lot of tools that can be used that will not require you. So there was this fight that, it has to sound more human. And OpenAI said, let us build emotions into our product. So for every time you try to battle that, this thing cannot do this, the same your friends in the same industry go back to your drawing board and say, let us create this thing to solve this problem that these guys are talking about. I was listening to Altman, I think Sam Altman, the CEO of OpenAI. He was being interviewed by Gary Tan. Gary Tan is the CEO of Y Combinator. If you're a tech person, you should know Y Combinator. They're the biggest venture company in the world. So hopefully, we pray that our startup gets into their program someday. So he was talking and he said something about how they sat down in the room and they were thinking of what to do. And some way, somehow, the idea just came, let us create something like the ChatGPT, and that became talk of the town. And it will shock you to know that AI has always been available. AI is not a new concept. It's not something new. Next slide, please. It's not something new. AI is not something new. This brings us to today, but the crucial understanding that AI is not new. The old AI, rules-based, is the AI that has been in existence for decades. It's your dishwasher, your car anti-lock braking system. All of these are artificial intelligence, right? Now, and the chess computer, it follows a pre-programmed explicit rules, sophisticated automation. But the problem with the former AI was garbage in, garbage out. I give you X, and there's an if condition that if it happens like this, do like this. It was not learning from the routine. It was not learning from what you were doing. It was just garbage in, garbage out. You do X, do Y. If the person ever goes to Y, create an else-if statement to bypass it. So that's always been a do this, you do that. I guess that's why it became so important. So the new AI, machine learning and generative artificial intelligence, this is the revolution. This AI doesn't follow rules. It learns patterns from massive amount of data. It writes, creates images and codes, not because it was told how to, but because it inferred how from examples. That is why it became a big thing, because now we've now built something that thinks. Something that do not need you to think. In fact, as a matter of fact, the thing can even learn you and behave like you. Yeah. So for the product we are launching soon called Sales, I told the father that, okay, what if you employ somebody on the first day and the person is a newbie? The person is a waiter, and the person does not know how to upsell and cross-sell. The platform can be able to teach the person how to upsell or cross-sell. For example, somebody orders burger, and the platform tells the person, upsell, what if you add this item to this? And that suggestion is coming probably because a lot of persons have been buying a particular item relative to burger since morning. Yeah? Yeah. So let's say, for example, Manchester and Chelsea is going to play a game later this evening. The system tells you, you know what? You have to buy more of these items, more drinks, because people are likely going to come into your restaurant to do this. So it's getting data from the weather. It's telling you when it's going to be cold. It's telling you what to buy before a cold day. It's telling you what to do and what not to do. It's telling you where waste is happening and where waste is not happening. I'm saying all of this to tell you that the system is actually learning you to be able to talk to you the way you want to be. What? The way you want the language to be, actually. Not now how you want it to talk to you, but how you want the language to be. The tone, how you want things to be like that you will like. So it's bringing into the picture personalized internet. Personalized data internet for you and just you. So it means that what I see on my screen, my phone, is not what the next person is going to see. Because Sam was saying that we created memory. Memory is likely not going to be launched as a mega product. Memory is just going to be in all our devices. So what that basically means is that it's understanding you. It's asking when somebody needs to call, it knows the person you will not pick his call. It's making smart decisions for you even before you think about it. And we are not even there yet. The possibility is endless. It's endless. What you can do is endless. So, having said that, two things you have to put into consideration. If you demystify the technology space, in today's world, we say AI at work. We are largely talking about two things. Next slide. Generative AI, this is where we're going to stop. Generative AI, that's the creative part, the ChatGPT, the Midjourney, the cloud. I'm so sure nobody sees AI as a new concept here. Yeah, we're young people, we know AI. So I'm not going to give you tools and all of that. I will not do that, because if I do that, it defeats my purpose in here. Because you have an AI on your WhatsApp. You can ask that question to your AI. In fact, if you have not, asked, what are the AI tools available and what can they do? It will overwhelm you. So I'm not going to be telling you that so that you go to an AI platform and use the AI platform for yourself. So generative AI is what blew the internet, what blew the world, which is ChatGPT, Midjourney, Cloud. They generate new content, text, code, images, music, and all of that. And it does that based on conversation. Now, there's predictive and analytical AI. It analyzes algorithm, it optimizes logistics, detects fraud, personalized. This is the dimension where our product it's going to be predictive and analytical AI, where it looks and understands zillions of data, and it can inform the owner of the business, the manager, or whoever, what the person should do. And for it, I should not just let the cat out of the bag. It's crazy. It's crazy, from escalating emergencies to knowing the time. When I think about AI, the possibility of what it can do is mind blowing. Is in the God level. In the God level. So the convergence of this is what's creating the seismic shift. It's not about it's no longer about automating a task. It's about creating the task. Hello? AI is no longer about automating it. You know, automation is you going to your calendar and telling your calendar to remind you that you have a meeting by 7, right? The future is your phone knowing that you have a meeting and creating the meeting for you without you doing anything. Are we on the same page? Okay, so what are the fears? The fears is, oh, if I'm a copywriter or if I'm a designer, it's going to take away, or if I'm a programmer, people are building AI platforms that can now build other platforms. For example, when I said I got funding by building an app with a no-code platform, a full mobile app with database and all of that. And it got funded because at the end of the day, some of your investors don't really want to know how it was being built. They just want to know, does it work? If it does work, then let's take it to the market. When you are big enough, we will get the engineers to build it from scratch. Hello? It's like Y Combinator, for example. They give you $125,000. Yeah? And why they are investing in you? Just to allow you stop your present job. Like me now, I can stop my lighting job and just focus on building, because that's some hundreds of millions, right? Right? I can tell Church of God Mission, you know, I can refer somebody to you that is as good as me, if not better, because there's a ministry I need to focus on. So they give you that money just for you to stop your job and focus on the product. And if you have startup founders, they allow you come together and they tell you, stop every other thing you have been doing. This $125,000 we are giving you is enough for you to stop your jobs and focus on this product. When you get the product to the market and they like the product, they have other funding rounds that they are going to introduce Useness. So, as a matter of fact, the platform I used to build the platform was funded by YC. So it shows you that some other engineers are building platforms that will ensure that other engineers will not have jobs. You understand? Like your friends are building platforms to ensure that you are out of the market. So if you now say, oh, there's a fight between good and bad developers, then you are wrong. You should position yourself as someone that is building platforms that work in that ecosystem or work with that new trend. And for us as Christians, I don't really understand at times. And it's religion. It's not because we are Christians. It's just religion. That the internet came out and the church said Facebook is a sin. You all heard that, right? Some people even did Sunday messages series on how the internet is bad. It's not good for Christians. So something comes out and we say, no, this thing is the thing of the devil. We always put the devil first as the owner of good things. Then when we've seen the impact of it by some other ministries or some other Christians using that tool for good and for kingdom advancement, when I say, oh, we are supposed to be there, let's go there. AI is not a bad thing. You have to position yourself to be in that space. If you are I did a brand identity project recently, and guess what? It was AI that designed the logo. Yes. And I've been charging hundreds of thousands for brand identity since 6 years. Like 6 years. I don't collect these things small. Because I understand that I got it the wrong way. And the wrong way was, when I started graphic design, I learned graphic design. When I started, I was charging, I think about 2,000 naira, 5,000 naira. Then nobody patronized me. Nobody. Then eventually, we now said, let's do promo. We did promo, and we were now charging 2,000 naira. I got 2 customers. So what that suggested to me is that the logo is not the problem. It's probably the value I was giving that is the problem. So what I did, I stopped doing logo designs for like 6 months. I went to work on myself. The first project was I think about 100,000, and the client paid. He never complained. No, not even follow me, argue, left, side, center. He just paid. And I got to understand that anybody that charges 5,000 naira for the logo is actually worth 5,000 naira. Yes, yes. The value is not more than what you have called it to be. A value cannot be higher than what the innovator has assigned it to be. It can never be. So if a work of art is 1 naira, it's because whoever designed it said that work of art, that is the cost of that work of art. Some time ago, somebody bought banana for millions of dollars. Did you see that? And ate the banana after some days. Millions of dollars. Millions, because one way or the other, there's something in their head that don't work well like us over here. I said banana that is covered in yellow is worth more than the banana that Aboki is selling. I don't understand. So, but at the end of the day, it was because there was perceived value in whatever it is, and somebody decided to increase that value. The same for AI. If you think your work is going to matter, you have to give it more value than the customer is going to see it. And you should be able to sell that value. The problem at times is not that we do not understand that we don't have value, but we cannot sell the value. And if you cannot sell the value that you have, the customer will just as well think there's no value. You know, I met a lot of creatives. I've been in the creative space for a while. I've met a lot of creatives, and it's really popular online, on YouTube and Instagram, and they just tell you, this is what I charge. If you are this, you come for me. If you are that, you don't come for me. If you are smart, you know that iPhone is still selling a story till tomorrow. It's still telling you why you should buy an iPhone. True of us. Yes. Samsung is still telling you why you should buy a Samsung. So you will not come to me, like come to my market, and I'll just tell you, this is what I charge. If you are for me, fine. If you are not for me, go. No. I should be able to sell why I am like that. I should be able to give you differentials and tell you, oh, this is why I'm different. This is why I'm different. You know, I've been blessed, privileged to do a lot of projects for CGMI International, CGMI. And it has just been simple. Grace, yes. Then ability to tell what I can do. And when I am privileged and they give me the job, I ensure that it's delivered the best way possible. Yeah, and if you do that for every of your business, clients will keep coming back. And it's just the way it is. Yeah. So if you think AI is going to take your job, you are going the wrong route. The right route should be, how can I position myself and maximize this new technology? If it's programming, programmers are already, in fact, programmers are not the ones that have issue with AI. Funny enough. Now the people when they use AI, they get issue with AI. Because if you have used an AI product, you will know that, oh no, I cannot do without this thing. I cannot do without it. Because programmers have Copilot, right? They have Copilot. They are always copying codes. They are always copying codes. You know now, right? Right? Well, yeah. So we are always copying codes. Yeah, if you don't copy codes, you copy design. If you're a digital marketer, you copy caption. You know, in fact, these days now, these social media platforms are building AI product features into their product that will help you create the caption. So we are now together. There's no fight. So if you want to position yourself for work for the next industry, you have to think, how can I be an industry operator? How can I be an industry operator? How can I operate the new industry? Because at the end of the day, every industry is going to look for an operator. It's going to look for somebody to manage it. Now, for the first time ever in the world, it is easier for you to start any startup. For the first time ever in the world, it is easier to start anything. It is easier. Like it's so easy. It's so easy. If you just have courage and you are in the right environment, trust me, it will be very easy for you. So let us position ourselves in that school of thought that tells us that we can operate this new industry, or we can be operators of this new industry. How can we use these tools to advance what we already do? It may require you learning new skill. It may require you fine-tuning what you already know. It may require you doing a little bit extra, but you have to. Then, lastly, how do we talk to generative AI? One of the biggest mistakes that a lot of people make is they don't understand how this AI works. And there are two things you must put into consideration. Context contest, and audience. So whenever you are talking to a platform that's an AI platform, you must always give it context. Context means that it's built not for you, it's built for everybody. So if I am a social media manager, I should be able to give that context to the AI technology and says, act like this. This is what has happened. This is what I should see in return. And AI platforms are usually very dull without context. They are very, very dull. Like when they give you the results, you self will know, say, this one not go school. But if you give it context and tell the AI platform what you expect it to see, and you have to be very detailed about it, telling it what it should be thinking and the kind of results it should give you back. That is where you actually succeed in using any AI platform or any AI tools. So, do you have questions? Thank you, sir. Thank you, ma'am. Example, I'm a product designer, and some of the interfaces I build is based on the prompts I use. For example, I want to create a report screen. I tell a platform like Gemini, I tell a platform like Gemini and ChatGPT tend to do a lot when it comes to building designs, interfaces. Then usually DeepSeek is very good with knowledge, information. So I tell Gemini or ChatGPT, build an interface for me, and this is what I want the interface to look like. The interface should have this, should have this, should have this. This is the industry that the software it's in. And this is what I'm trying to achieve with the software. So, and I will not stop there. I will tell the platform, create another tab for me and display your code on that other tab. A lot of persons don't know that these platforms can actually design. Like they design and they will preview it for you. Yeah. So I try to be as detailed as possible, ensuring that context is established. The platform knows what I am trying to achieve. It's not Google search. Don't use AI platforms like Google search. Google search is what is the oldest man. You will not go to AI and not go and type what is the oldest man. That's not how it's supposed to be. If you want those kind of results, go to Google. But if you want deeper knowledge, that's where AI strives. That's what it's made for. Yeah. So example is, if you are a product designer, you should be very specific. Specific to the extent of telling it to create another tab for you and display what it's trying to tell you on that tab as a user interface. I go as far as telling it, display it with time with CSS and React. And it creates it with the exact language I want it to write to design the interface. And all I just do, I'm very good with Figma. So I just look at the interface, I design it. Then if there's something I need to advance, I just do that based on it's my feed, right? Yeah, so that's an example. Did I answer your question, sir? Okay. Yes. The truth is, anything made is harmful. Anything made is harmful, one way or the other. Anything made. Anything made. Is man not harmful? It does. Man do kill people, right? Was the internet not harmful? Yes. People were stealing people. In fact, to date, people are still moving people's money, telling you MTN is giving you free data, and you put your login details, VPN, and everything. So everything made is harmful. Yes, but it's what you focus on, that's what you get. It's your focus that usually is mirrors back to you. So if you focus on the disadvantages of a system, that is what you are going to see consistently. Yeah, but if you concentrate on the benefits of what you are going to get from that platform, that's what you see. So yes, AI is going to be dangerous. It's even presently very dangerous. If you don't want to use it, fine, one man down. But if you are encouraged enough to use it and focus on the positivity, you are going to see the endless possibility. You can even build startups on AI technologies. You can build businesses on AI technologies. You can even build consulting businesses. In fact, that's a big business right now. people teaching people how to use AI platform. It's big business right now. So, yes, whenever there's good, there's bad. Just to end, just to end or summarize what you just said. There can never be good if there's no evil. That's why God does not want to kill devil. Good and evil is a contrastive statement. They can never be white without black. They can never be black without white. You can never call God a good God if there's not a bad one. Hello? You cannot call God a good God. There has to be a bad one for you to know that the word God exists. The word good God exists. So the good has to have something that is evil. And that's why the devil has to stay. So that you know the sacrifices the cross have done for you. You know what Jesus has paid. So you are, there has to be something that is the inverse of what you are doing. So as long as there is good, evil is established from the day good is established. Just the way it is. And that's what creates balance for the world. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Can we put our hands together one more time for brand guy Eddie, the one and only? I feel like we have received a lot, but I want to encourage. We've had more questions, but some of the questions that want to be asked on the personal level. So I would encourage, please, our facilitators and speakers today, don't be in a hurry to go home. Some people would like to meet you after the session. So I would just want us to just move to the next session. This has been a lot of information and of information overload. But the only thing I can say now is that I believe that we have capacity to receive. I believe we have capacity to receive because the truth is we can take the things that we are hearing today and change our lives forever. This is the future of work we are talking about, right? Not just future of work, future of money, future of impact, future of influence, future of... So you will live here today like you just did secondary school to your PhD all at once in one sitting, but you would not remain the same again, like I promised at the beginning of the session. We'll be moving straight to our next speaker. He is a cybersecurity expert, our online police. No other person but Pastor Easy. We call him Pastor Easy, but put your hands together for Pastor Israel Agbola as he takes the stage. Please keep clapping till he gets here.
Good day, everyone. So I'll try as much as possible not to take too much of our time. And but the truth is, everything that everybody has said since, they've been talking about your assets. They've been talking about your digital footprint. They've been talking about codes. They've been talking about designs. They've been talking about web development and all that. So I'm actually here to talk about how you can protect yourself. Be it a music producer, a musician, a songwriter, a graphics designer, a web developer. So that takes me to the topic for today. The topic is tech fusion and the future of work, cybersecurity for creatives. So I'm going to try as much as possible to touch every part of what people have been talking about since. So I want to start by telling us about, or just asking questions, because we're going to do a lot of imagination today. We're going to think about a lot of things so that it will be very easy for us to relate to most of the things I want to talk about. So for the musicians here or for designers here, have you ever thought of, or maybe you've seen situations whereby you write a song or you created a design and after uploading it, you went to sleep, and then the next morning you see that someone else is claiming what is yours. Has anybody ever felt that before? Yeah, I'm sure a lot of you have felt it. So, have you ever heard stories of even A-list musicians whereby they tell you, I'm going to release this album on September 1st, but August 10, people are already streaming the song or they've been listening to it? Have you ever heard that story? A typical example is Davido, I think 2022, where he talked about his album and people are already listening to his album. What does that do? What was the effect on him? He's going to lose revenue. And a lot of people are going to make money over what he uses time and resources to create. Now, how do we safeguard ourselves from intellectual theft? Now, so that's cybersecurity. What is cybersecurity? Cybersecurity is Proverbs chapter 4, verse 23. And what does Proverbs chapter 4, verse 23 says? Pastor Deborah. Guard your heart with all diligence. So in cybersecurity, it means guard your digital life and save it. Make sure you do everything possible to save your digital life. So Mr. Kaiser came and he talked about you putting things out there carelessly. A lot of people are going to use that against you, whether you like it or not. Reverend Berber also mentioned about creating designs. And then you put out designs, and that's your intellectual property. That's what you actually created. But you see people stealing it, and then there's nothing you can do about it. All these things are what we call digital asset. It's your asset that you put online. Now, if you can go to the next slide. Okay, so let's be honest. I want to ask a few questions. How many of you have actually used a free Wi-Fi before? A whole lot of us. Yeah, free Wi-Fi. Everything free is free. But one thing I want you to know from a cybersecurity perspective is not everything that is free is free. Walking down Airport Road, you're going to see Edo State free Wi-Fi. Yes, there's a possibility. No, they actually have you in mind. That was why they put that out there. But there are people that they are going to use that. Okay, so I will try as much as possible not to use some of our terminologies because that may confuse us the more. And because of my own aspect of cybersecurity, I'm a GRC analyst. That's governance, risk management, and compliance analyst. But I will leave the whole technical thing for the SecOps. Those are the ones that write script, codes, and everything to protect. But there are a lot of people that will want to use that free Wi-Fi to get your information. Because here is the thing. Once you connect to that free Wi-Fi, whoever has manipulated that internet backend has access to everything on your phone. So what do we advise? Use your mobile data or VPN. So I'm trying to say this, that you travel, and then you lodge in a hotel, and then you see free Wi-Fi, and then they give you log into it. The hotel just wants you to have a very comfortable time. But what of people that actually infiltrated it? And they're just waiting for somebody that like free things to log into it, and then they harvest all your passwords, your bank app, every single thing becomes what they have access to. So I'm saying this, that don't be too moved to get free things. As talking from a cybersecurity perspective, because there's a lot of information that you are letting out there. But if you want to use it, make sure you have a VPN. You can go online and search for VPNs. You can use your mobile data. no matter how you love free things. So moving to the next slide, trying to rush so that we won't take too much of our time. Because today, what I'm here to do is basically awareness. Cybersecurity is not something that you're going to learn in 24 hours or 1 year. Because one thing about cybersecurity is a career that evolves. Today, you can actually have a lot of things to safeguard your assets. And the same way you're building things to save it is the same way hackers are trying to hack it as well. So once you see that, oh, they've done this part, what we do again is to try as much as possible to build firewalls around it. Okay, so the future of work is already here. A lot of people feel like, oh, the future of work there is where we are going to. No. The person that spoke before me talked about AI. AI is already here. And as much as people don't want to believe, it's going to take your job if you believe it's going to take your job. Because AI is actually meant to enhance your job. It's not supposed to take it. For a designer, for instance, it makes you do a lot of jobs and finish it within a limited time. But what's the difference between a designer that uses AI and a random person that uses AI? It's the professionalism that you're going to see with somebody that is a designer. So we talked about, so when Mr. Eddie was talking, the brown guy, he mentioned something about copywriting and the fact that not everybody can get into, you don't need it as a CEO, you can actually get a copywriter, you can actually use ChatGPT and all that. But at the same time, if you want to be a copywriter, the only thing I'm going to advise is that should not be the only thing you want to do, right? But if you're still a copywriter, you can still get a job. Because for me, that understands AI and understands perfection and professionalism, I want to get somebody that actually understands storyline. Because whether you like it or not, if you've used Meta AI on WhatsApp, you've used ChatGPT, they specify that you should cross-check the information because it may not be 100% true. So you go online and I just tell ChatGPT to just generate a content for me, and I don't really understand marketing, or I don't understand sales, I don't understand how it's going to sell my product. I'm just going to put a whole lot of information that makes no sense out there. But as a copywriter, you'll be able to know that, inverted pyramid, this first two lines is supposed to be catchy enough to get this audience that I need and all that. So that's just me digressing. But musicians, a lot of people blows up on TikTok now, right? A whole lot of people. Before you know, you write a song, you produce it, you put it out there, and then pay one influencer to just create a dance routine, and before you know, everybody's listening to your song, right? Designer, AI generates logos in 30 seconds or more. And developers, there's a lot of teenagers coding, and then we'll talk about using AIs as well. But here's the thing for all these creatives. What you should do is you have to protect all your assets, protect every single thing that you put out there. Now, what do you do as a musician? No, you can go back to okay, you can leave it. Thank you. Copywriting can be wherever you see this product, it tells you that this is the person that did it. But guess what? If I don't want it there, I have to subscribe for a pro version. And what am I paying for? Your creativity. I'm paying for your intellect. I'm paying for your services. So don't just do something and leave it out there without getting value from it, without getting at least people paying for what you put out there. Also, we've heard stories of musicians where after 1 year of contract, they start complaining that their distribution company is having issues. They're having issues with their distribution company, or maybe they put their song out there and then they're not getting revenue, they're not getting money from it. So as a musician, part of the things you can do to safeguard your digital access is what? To share your product on trusted digital platforms. You don't just put it out anyhow. Reverend Barbara talked about Too Exclusive. Too Exclusive was the reigning Spotify and this thing, that time, that any music you want to get, just go on tooexclusive.com. You will see it. Now, the revenue that they're going to get is more than what whoever did the song or pay them to upload the song gets from it. Do you get? If I pay you ₦1 million to put my song on your platform, it's not my business how much you make from it. Right? But when you go on a trusted digital platform where everything is straightforward, you have everything in your contract. They tell you the do's and don'ts. They tell you what you have to gain. If it's not beneficial enough, you move to the next person, right? But it has to be trusted so that you get every single thing that you deserve from it. Let's go to the next one, please. Next slide, please. Now, digital firewall. So, I kept something here, and I said, just as Nehemiah built the wall of Jerusalem for protection, not decoration, your digital security safeguards your creative work. So how do you do that? You have to, as an artist, protect your royalties and original content. This is what I've been explaining. That was part of the things I explained in my last slide. Designers, make sure you secure your portfolio and clients' work. Reverend Mr. Kigwe talked about portfolio, right? You should have a portfolio for your work. But what if you put the application you use in generating your portfolio is what a random person can just get access to. And then Reverend Barbara is a graphics designer, but I see a graphic designer job, and I see, oh, they're going to pay you $2,000 per month. And I have access to Reverend Barbara's portfolio that I did not watermark. It did not have a license or copyright to it. Do you know it's possible for me to just uplift that, change the name of the portfolio, and just put it out there? And then I get employed. But guess what I'm going to do? Because I don't know how to design, right? What I will do is, because hackers are smart, they still pay Reverend Barbara from the $2,000 and talk to Reverend Barbara that, can you get $500 for this job? And Reverend Barbara talked about value. And he said, no, $1,000. And then you get him to do the job for $1,000. And then you have $1,000 to yourself for not doing anything. So that is what can affect you if you don't build a wall around your digital assets. Next slide. Now, we're going to talk about some digital traps every single person here can face, or what we faced before. So the first thing is phishing paradise. What do we call phishing? Phishing link. Okay, so I remember when I was doing my GRC training, the first thing when they told me about phishing is, okay, I did not even see the spelling. So I just see it as, oh, you throw a hook and then you fish. But do you know what? That's actually the explanation to this thing. How many of you have gotten a mail or a pop-up telling you about, maybe let's say 2020, or when Nigeria was 50 years. And then you get a mail or pop-up that tells you, for the celebration of the 50 years anniversary of Nigeria, click on this to get 1 million naira. In fact, most hackers are even smart now. They don't even want to get, they know that you'll be scared to get 1 million naira now. So they tell you 50,000 naira. Then in your mind, you start thinking, 50,000 naira, if this person really wants to scam me, they will go for 1 million, 2 million. Because 50,000 naira, a lot of people will want to click on that link. And then you click on the link. What happens at the back end? Your details. And then you see a lot of people, especially for some of us that are job hunting, right? You apply, and then you get phishing link. You get an email from somebody telling you, oh, you've applied for this job. Click on this link and fill the form. Now, part of the things I learned was that any email that comes to me for any job I applied for, that you now tell me, dear Israel, I'm not even going to reply or click on anything. Do you know what? If I apply to you as dear Israel, if you're responding to me, you respond to me as Israel. But when you respond to me as dear applicant, it gives me, there's something that it triggers in me. That means this thing may be coming from a computer-generated email, or it may come from somebody that does not, the person just harvested our emails, right? And just send out emails, that same email, for 1 million person. If I'm applying for a job with you, what you're going to send to me is a personalized email. Not another thing you're going to see is their applicant, after writing a lot of rubbish, then they write, here are the available positions. 1, graphics design, customer experience, software developers. And they now ask you, you can select the one you want to apply for. Are you joking? Because if I actually apply as a customer service and I gave you my body email, my CV, everything, and you're responding to me to select from all those things, a sane company will not even do that in the first place. So that should be a red flag for you. So phishing paradise is when email just says, a random email comes to you and tell you, congrats, you just won $1 million. And click on this and fill this form. And you open the link, you are exposed. That's being exposed first time. And second time, they tell you to fill a form. And then you fill the form. And then there's a part they tell you to pay or credit card. And you feel like, truly, if they're offering me 1 million naira and they're telling me to pay 5,000 naira, is that a problem? And then you click on it. And you put in your bank details. Well, after this, I'm sure nobody's supposed to fall victim of that. They get hackers are so smart that they get every single thing you own. So for instance, for the free Wi-Fi, once they get access to your IP address, then everything is gone. Password laziness. Using the same password everywhere. So I'm going to talk about this later. So let's move to the next one. Cracked software demons. So for graphics designers and software developers, especially graphics designers, I've met people and video editors. I've seen a lot of people that they would never pay for that app they are using. They're always using, they love looking for a cracked version of the app they want to use. But guess what? Somebody cracked it, right? And sent it to you. Do you understand what happened at the back end? Do you know whatever it is? I'm not a software developer, but I'm sure the software developers here, they can tell you that there's a way you can put a command in your code that the person seeing the front end will not know, and then you can harvest as much information as you want. Right? Thank you. So it's very possible. So learn to subscribe. That's if you want to actually take your assets seriously. Learn to subscribe for the real version of whatever it is that you're using. During my internship as GRC analyst with Summit System, it's a company. One of the things he told us was, if you're using Mac, and it's not on Mac OS, if it's on Microsoft, right? it's better you possibly get a laptop that can access it, the Google apps and all that, than to get a cracked version of that app on Mac. Because you're going to suffer for it. A lot of people, especially hackers, are so smart. We're not talking about the Nigerians that we hack Access Bank, and when they are trying to show their that will put layers of code, that there's nothing you will do. You won't even know that they've infiltrated your system. So oversharing, Mr. Kigwe talked about this. A lot of you go online, and then you put it out there. I'm at Avenue Event Center for Tech Fusion. And then on your way, you get to Shoni's, you upload again. I'm at Shoni's. And then you put every single detail about your life online, telling Instagram, I'm not at home, for tips to say thank you for your information. Because for instance now, you're not at home, but your Wi-Fi at home, like you've gotten people to create firewalls and all that, but you are outside. And then this person is so smart enough to trace your movement from wherever you are. Notice that anytime you're at home, I don't have access to this person's detail, right? But this guy loves going to BIU. Oh no, don't let me use BIU. This person loves going to Matthias. And then I create a clone Wi-Fi at Matthias saying free Wi-Fi Matthias. To you, Matthias created that, right? But someone else did in the bid to get your information. This is how hackers work too. If you put on your Wi-Fi right now, you're going to see a lot of Wi-Fi's online or hotspots online. And then I can actually look for, if I'm a hacker, right? I can look for the one that I've been hearing Reverend Shalom, Reverend Bebra since. I can look for the one that carries his name. And I see that what is on the name of the hotspot is showing, it shows Reverend Bebra, in brackets, Android 102, ... and all that. I can actually create a clone that every single person we think they're actually connecting to his own, even though he's passworded. But we, unfortunately, connect to the one that was cloned. You can come into the church. Avenue does not have Wi-Fi, free Wi-Fi. But you can come into Avenue, you rent this event center for a program, and you come into Avenue and you see Avenue free Wi-Fi. I'm sure a lot of us will want to connect to it. And that's the problem when it comes to when it comes to getting into free Wi-Fi. And then we have deepfake disaster. There's a lot of it's so shocking that the last Edo State Cybersecurity Summit we did, we played a video, and the video shows Elon Musk talking about the event, and people were clapping. And forget the idea or the information I have as a cybersecurity person. I think common sense would let you know that Elon Musk has no business with whatever is going on in Edo State Cybersecurity Summit. But there was a video of Elon Musk talking about Edo State Cybersecurity Summit and how he's going to give participants $10,000. And people clapped. And guess what the person said? He said, that means we actually need to work on you guys. Because a lot of people have been talking about cybersecurity, how to go against threats and all that, how to create a firewall. And then there's somebody, Elon Musk, Not even the governor of Edo State. That is even believable. Elon Musk. So that's what deepfake means. I can create a video as long as I have access to Reverend Gar's information and use it to create a video that talks about Gar code. And then I will just put a link there. You should click on this link if you want to join my cohort, maybe my 6th cohort of software developing training or graphics design. And you click on it. It's not Reverend Gar. It's just AI that is doing its thing. Right? So you should be mindful of these things. Because the truth is, one day you will see a video of yourself dancing where you've never been to. But do you know how they can even get most of those things? By you putting out your stuffs, you're putting out your assets out there unprotected. You oversharing on Instagram, you connecting to free Wi-Fi. So, next one. I told you I was going to talk about password laziness. The next one. So let's keep it real. How many of you use the same password for all your accounts? Same password for all your accounts. Thank you. How many of you have your birthday on your password? Oh, wow. I was expecting not to see what. Okay. In movies, all right. How many of you use your name as part of the password? Your first name. Oh, thank you, Reverend Barbara. You'll be raising your hand. But here's the thing. We're not going to judge you, right? But what you should do instead is a strong, unique password for each account. Now, some of you will say, but I can forget. I'm going to let you know how you can work on that. Use a 2-factor authentication. Lots of people have been saying this. On your WhatsApp, your Twitter, your Instagram, every single application you use, always they have 2-factor authentication. Make sure you use it. Then don't click suspicious link. No matter what it says. Receive heavenly blessings. Receive your prayer, answers to your prayer. Receive $10,000 from Elon Musk. Once it's suspicious, don't click on it. Then back up your work regularly. Now, we're going to do a little exercise on how to create a strong, unique password. Everybody know my name as Israel. You know my name as Easy. You know my surname Agbola. How many of you know my second name and my other names, apart from my wife? How many of you knows that? None. Apart from you knowing my daughter's name as Daisy, do you know our other names? No. Apart from you knowing my wife as Omo and Agbola, do you know our other names? Even though she doesn't have. Now, this is a way to create a strong, unique password. I always advise, anywhere I talk about this, it's easy to know your first name. Most of us have an English first name. But other names can be traditional names, which as a Yoruba person, it will be difficult for me to know the spelling of some Benin names because of the V and the B, V after B. We don't have that in our own alphabet. We don't have VB, all those. Somebody wants to tell me their name, and then I will just write it the way we write it in Yoruba, and then the person will write it, and you see that there's VB, O, U, V, and all that. So I always advise that. See that name that not everybody knows. You can use that. Now, do you know how to use it to make it unique? It's strong enough if your password is more than 8 characters, 8 letters, alphabet. It's better if your password is up to 15, 10. But it's more strong and unique if your password has alphabet, numbers, and signs in it. Now, for example, sorry, please, can you tell me your other name? Yes. The other name? Tejiro. Fejiro. Now, Is it just Fejiro? There's a name, there's how to pronounce the full name. Or you're just telling me the Ogene Fejiro. Yes, please, I'll round up now. It's Ogene Fejiro. And you have a sister that has another name, right? So if I'm being smart enough, let me use myself as an example. I have other name. Daisy has a name. Daisy had Mimuza Yogene as part of her name. Even my family members may not know that's her name, but I know that's her name, right? And I know how to spell it. If I remove that name and bring Jesu Tofumi from my name, which happens to be my other name, if you count that alphabet, that would be up to 20 something, right? And I have it in my head. That's one way to get a long password that is strong. But what makes it unique and what makes it strong? I can say everywhere E appears in my name, I want to use the symbol of hero. Dollar, pounds, euro, you know the sign of euro, right? But it looks like he, right? And I want to say everywhere you see S in my name, I'm going to use dollar sign. And every A in my name, I'm going to use at sign. Tell me how you're going to guess my password with that. Because that's not only strong, it's also unique. Unique to who? Unique to me. Now, there's a slide. There's actually something I'm supposed to show, but I'm not with it. It shows how long it takes hackers to hack each password. So if you have a random password, they will tell you, okay, this to take 2 hours. But what I'm telling you, number one, it has up to 20 alphabet. Number two, you have those characters in it. Number three, you can see every O that is going to be in my name. I'm going to use a full stop. It will take them years to be able to hack it. Because it's only peculiar to you and it's unique to you. And if I'm a hacker and I want to hack you, the first thing that will come to my mind is trying to get your date of birth, trying to get your first name, your surname, and all. I don't even know your middle name. That's if you don't put your things out there, like I explained earlier. So make sure it's unique. And when you put it out there, you say, oh, A at, then you use J, stands for Jesus, right? Used to spell Jesus. And you put cross there. Who will think of that? And having all these unique characters in your password makes it unique and makes it different from a regular password. And then when I talked about how many of you uses the same password for all your social media accounts, there's a way around that. You can say on Facebook, you can decide on your own if you know you forget things, as long as you don't forget your password. You can decide that for my Facebook account, my F will be at the back or my F will be at the front. So I can say my password, I'll use for the one for Facebook, I'll put F at the front. For the one for Instagram, I'm going to start with I. For the one for Twitter, I'm going to start with T. But guess what? It's the same password. So even if the person gets your password, I let this out actually. But if somebody gets your password, which is very difficult to get, they can only infiltrate one of your accounts, not all your accounts. Because they will keep trying on all those accounts till they notify you that somebody is trying to get into your account. So that's just another way to just get most of these things. I don't think I have much time. So the opportunities in cybersecurity. There's a lot of opportunity in cybersecurity. You know, I told you I'm a GRC analyst, governance, risk management, and compliance analyst. So from that, I diverted into compliance. So fintech, compliance, financial compliance. This is when we talk about each frameworks and policy that governs each country or each state. For Australia, a company that I've worked in Australia, they use Austrac. So everything you need to know about the policy and framework that governs financial institution in Australia is Austrac. You have the IPA law. IPA governs all the health sector. That's where they tell you don't give out patients' information. There are other framework that will tell you that you don't, there's social person that should have access to each password. And as a GRC analyst, you can call me to your company to consult for you, just to do assessment. And then I noticed that apart from you being the software developer, there's an intern that have access, that have the same password, login detail, credentials to the system you use in your company. That's a problem. Interns can leave and don't have NDA that governs them. They don't have a lot of contract that govern them. And that's a threat to your company. So that's part of what we do as GRC. But then there's SecOps. These ones, they are like OGs in their own field. They create firewalls, they protect. So what I do as GRC is tell your company that you need a lot of things, firewalls and all, and then we bring in the SecOps to develop those things. So cybersecurity is one of the fastest growing career globally. You can go online, you will see this. So please, there's a slide I sent to you, and I want us to, every single person here that is interested in cybersecurity, you can key into this. Bishop Dr. Febi that also was one of the person that actually created that platform for me through Fast Forward Global Initiative. So what do they do? Fast Forward Global is just fast forwarding you whatever skill you have, or whatever, even the ones you don't have. It's just to give you that platform in the global community and fast tracking your life to the global community. That's what they do. And part of the initiative brings cybersecurity training. So please, if you're interested in GRC, being a GRC analyst, and you want to join the next cohort, I was in the first cohort. They've done 2 already. This is the 3rd cohort. You can join. You may see me as a mentor or not, but we're going to start at September 1st of September 2025. But you have till 5 p.m. today. Oh, 30th, that was yesterday. But you can still do that. I'm going to let the person know that people are students from now, because we're still under the same umbrella as Above Only Creative. So if you want to apply, make sure you apply. And then we're going to put this on the group that we're going to create so that you can also benefit from it. But understand this, it's a scholarship and there's slot. So there's some questions that they're going to ask you. And if you scale that particular point, you're going to get into the cohort. And then it's in conjunction with Summit System ISSP. It's a company based in Texas. The instructor is also an analyst in Texas that works with U.S. government, and it's one of the best things that you can actually avail yourself with. So that's that about that. I'm going to round off from here, and this is what I want to tell you. Make sure you safeguard your assets. Make sure you safeguard yourself. Information you put out there as relates to digital life, your digital life, so that you don't get exposed to threat from hackers or from whoever is ready to harvest your information. Thank you so much for listening, and I hope you understand. You can meet me after this so that we'll talk further. Thank you.
Please appreciate it, please. Quickly, I'm going to be talking about tech and the music business. When we talk about the music business, I'm going to narrow it down to music and sound design, especially because of the young people that we are targeting today. Now, the music business and tech is something that is very interesting and we must understand. I got involved with the music business at an early age as a teenager, and those were the days where we were basically doing analog recordings. Everything was manual, everything was analog, where we would go to a studio, you play all the musical instruments and you sing live, real time. Well, we used to record on what you call reel to reel. You know those tapes that you have huge tapes like this. We had 16-track reel to reel recording, 8-track, 24. We didn't have even 24-track back then. That's the technology I grew up with. Now, over time, we evolved from using reel to reel to using multi-track recorders or record on tape, cassettes. Then we move from there to recording on ADAT. We evolve into using computers. Now, a lot of this transition from time to time, from year to year, from season to season, from dispensation to dispensation, a lot of people were falling out. Now we're talking AI, and the conversation that has always been that, oh, AI will take your jobs, introduction of computers will take your jobs. It has always been that narrative. A lot of people that I started with in the music business early enough, a lot of them have fallen out. So I'm talking about 3 decades and counting, because they refuse to evolve. I started with, like I said, the analog days, but I was intrigued with how music would be done. Got involved with digital recording studio. Digital recording studio were basically using modules. Modules are, if you see where you have a studio, or you've been able to have access to sound engineers where they have their racks. You see a rack of different devices, different electronic devices. We used to have those in the studio environment those days, and we used to call them, or they are called modules, sound modules. Computer was not invoked then, so you had piano modules, you had bass modules, you had drum modules. My challenge then was that even the drum module we used to use, called DM5 by Alexis, you have 10 drum kicks, bass drum, 10 drum snares. So to me, at that time, it was limited, because if I produce 10 different artists or 10 different albums, I have the same similar tones for them. So you couldn't tweak it, you couldn't adjust it. Then came computers. Computers came with what we call digital workstations, DAWs, digital audio workstations. And we began to have access to softwares like Cakewalk Pro Audio, and later we had STEM Bank, that is Cubase and all, that you could tweak some synthesizers and all that. Now, how does this apply to technology for today? And I'm very particular about how you can use tech tools. So the idea for me is that today we have mobile phones, and your mobile phones can do basically most of the things that we talk about. But let me also explain and advise that a lot of people that are into music, especially young people, everybody's looking for how to make it big in the mainstream industry, which is to record a song, record a single, or produce a single. So I'm talking to producers, creators, and performers. Whether you are you do back behind the stage, or you do behind the scenes, or you are in front of the stage as a performer or as a creator. I'm a sound engineer, studio engineer, music producer, and also a sound designer, back-end work. But what my advice to you in this day and age is that because of the competition in the mainstream industry of music, a lot of people, especially those are in my paradigm or in my category, everybody's trying to make the beats that will go viral, that will make mega hits. Everybody's trying to become the next big thing as the next artist. There are a lot of areas, sectors, or spheres in the entertainment industry that we are not exploring. Now, if you put the film industry, the music industry, sport entertainment, you put fashion entertainment, you put all industries together, they don't compare to the income that gaming generates. They don't compare to it. Put all entertainment sectors, from sport to fashion to music to film to everywhere. They don't compare to, you cannot even put together, they can't even compare to what gaming generates. So in the gaming industry, you have animators, you have graphic designers, you have sound designers, and other sectors. But let's narrow it down to these 3 different categories. Just as we can't do, like I said before, we can't do anything basically without tech. So also you can't do anything without sound, music. So it is important that we begin to look critically at other areas where you can create music or design sounds that can be beneficial to you in terms of profitability and topping your career. So not every one of us must be producers that will produce the next big thing, the next big artist. Most of you as artists, as creators, as songwriters, should not also think that, oh, everybody wants to become the next Wizkid or the next Davido. No. There are areas where you can thrive and make a lot of impact and make money. For example, as a sound designer, as a budding music producer, I started with studio engineering in Benin City here. I started working basically with recording sessions. You can plug in equipment, instruments, and record people's vocals and instruments before I even went into mix and mastering. That was the basic thing I could do. But I was intrigued to how can this work. I did that for a couple of years as a young teenager growing up. Then I began to get interested in the ads industry, the commercial industry. So I started creating soundtracks for advertising brands. That's how I started. So I made a lot of, I got a lot of clouds, I made a lot of money as a teenager, just creating music, background music for ads. You understand what I'm saying? So if you are a commercial marketer, you do advertisement, people will come to me. And those days, and it's still prevalent in these days, people will use popular music. They just lift any music they like, use for political campaign jingles, God the win, oh God, you understand what I'm saying? They pick anything used for an hotel jingle. But today is what we have been preaching over 10, 20 years ago is beginning to get serious now, because now we're talking about copyrights. So you could possibly be sued for lifting somebody else's music to use for your advert. So back in those days, I would create my own sound. It wasn't popular in Benin then. It wasn't attractive. It cost me more time, energy, and resources to even create the sound. But somebody else can just rip from a CD one popular trendy song that relates to the kind of ad he wants to sell, and they use it. But I kept at it until those days, the general manager, GM of ITV and radio, heard my work on the radio, and they called me to the office at Glass House Airport Road. And the man said they liked what I do because it was unique, it was different. That's how I built a relationship with the then GM so many years ago, and I built a relationship with the broadcast station. I began to produce for them directly. I began to produce for ITV radio because they could figure out, or they could pick me out of the crowd to say, oh, who does this job? Oh, it's one young man. Oh. And that's how it started for me. So my jobs were now gaining traction and visit to say, oh, this is KBK's job. And all the jobs I was doing then were basically jobs for brands, all the hotels in Benin City and all the top hotels, because those were the kind of jobs that will appreciate my art. Are you getting what I'm saying? So one of the biggest jobs I even got then was from the Gbenadians. Because if you know the Gbenadians, why am I saying this to you? Sometimes you may not so. People create music to enable you sleep. It's music to enable you sleep. That's somebody's career. So most of us can use technology in achieving this. So let's go. FL Studio is available on your phone. Especially young people. FL Studio is available on your phone. Ableton Live, Logic Pro. These are some of the doors you can use. Now, one of the apps that I would recommend is BandLab. BandLab is for anybody that wants to create or make sound. I'm talking to you as somebody that is not, I'm not talking to professional musicians or creators. As a person, you want to be able to record voiceovers. You want to have an app that you can use to make beats on the go. BandLab is one of those apps that is free for you. The other ones, then I'll go to the next slide. Music promotion and social media. Now, this is very important also. Platforms to grow fan base and promote content. Of course, most of us are on social media, but we do not know that even TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, and the likes, they have categories for every different kind of clientele or creators. For example, if you're talking digital marketing, most of these apps, they have their e-commerce platform. Facebook has what they call marketplace, online shop. TikTok has TikTok shop. Instagram has started developing Instagram shop. So when you want to post on this platform, you must understand that they have tools that is designed for you. So as a sound designer, as a beat maker, as a performer, as a recording artist or songwriter, you must learn how to use the features that are available on these apps for your own advantage. Basic tools like Canva can help you design artwork, thumbnails. CapCut can help you edit. Now, Instagram has edits that can help you. These pictures are not free. That can help you do that. So I want to also talk to our young people to learn what you call sound design. If you watch a skit online, the music background, the funny sound, that's what you call sound design. It's also a technique or a skill that you can develop that can engage you. People can also hire you to create sound. And if you have a flair for sound, and platforms and licensing. Now, if you're able to create your content, you are able to produce the beat or create the sound or do your voiceover or whatever. Now, the idea for this Tech Fusion is to help you, first of all, to motivate you, to tell you that it is possible for you to do it, that you can find ways, talent, and your gifts to making money now. No matter, even if you are 10 years old, you can start making money. But one of the critical things Brother Israel said was about copywriting, which is very important. If you're able to create this content, audio-visual graphics content, and you put them together, especially in the music space, you must understand copywriting, licensing, and distribution. That is where we can say that you own the content and you have a right to it. A third-party user will need your permission to use it, or when they use it, you can easily identify them. Now, we talked about music distribution platforms that are available for you to use. You can now upload directly. You no longer need a third party, you understand, to upload on streaming platforms. If you want to recommend some distribution platform for you, like I said at the beginning, we have Abovule Music. We have our own distribution platform, which is available to you for a token to use. We have DistroKids, we have TuneCore, all the other platforms. If you create your audio files, your audio content, whatever it is, maybe you are a spoken word artist, you can use BandLab to record. If you cannot afford or access it, do quotes. You are a public speaker, you want to develop any skill in the speech industry, you can begin to use BandLab to record those things. Then if you imagine sounds, you always get ideas or imaginations about a tune in your mind. You can record them with those apps on your phone. When you put these things together and you find help to help you mix and master them, the next thing to do is to distribute them. Go on these platforms. You can reach us for Abovule Music to help you distribute it. Distribution is basically now putting it on different stores. Like I said, where we are coming from, in those days where I started my record label, there was no technology, there was no internet. You would go to the studio, produce the artists, then go to a mass production company to mass produce those songs on cassettes. Before CDs, even when CDs came, it was the same thing. When we now mass produce 500 copies, 1,000 copies, 2,000 copies, we'll go to Mission Road. We are looking for record stores to distribute to. We'll go to Kobahi, go to Ruby, go to different places, Upper Sapomba, go to Wari. Anywhere you find park, we'll know that, okay, somebody's selling cassette, there's a record store. We'll distribute 100 copies here, 50 copies here. We'll take notes. It's the same thing, the same principle exists today. The method has changed. So if you are distributing to Spotify, to Apple Music, to Deezer, you are distributing your works to them. When we used to distribute to those physical stores, I give Franco Disc 1,000 copies. I do what you call a receipt. There's an invoice to say I gave you 1,000 copies at 50 naira. You will sell and pay me back 45 naira. You understand what I'm saying? It's the same thing you do with these digital stores. When you distribute to them, you need to understand that there is a way you can license your music that you can now earn back from them. When their job is to now display it on their shelves, sell to the public, and when the public buy from them, you earn your own commission, which is called royalties. It is important you understand that go to music discovery and submission. Submit to playlists, curators, sync, and opportunities. Yes, you find platforms online that you can do all that. Please, these slides will be available to you. I will expect that if you use our link tree, linktro.ee/Abovule Create. Please follow us on social media when you get to the link tree. All the links there, click them. We have groups on Facebook and on Telegram. Follow us on those platforms so that you can join our community on social media messaging apps so that we can send you this content for you to follow up. Then you can also ask questions later. If you go to copyright your music, you can copyright your melody. You can copyright the lyrics. You can copyright the beats. That idea that you have, you can copyright it. It is important that you copyright your content so that, because intellectual property can pay you for life. It's something that's even transferable to your children's children, yes. Your generations after can be feeding from your intellectual property. That can only happen when you license it properly. So you must understand that this is serious business for us. Then the next page, you see ISROC codes, which is a unique identifier for every release track. If you do audio, no matter the format, that is a music format, spoken word poetry, what like I have said, also ensure that you get your IRC code to be able to identify each of those tracks. We talk about split sheet. Split sheet is a document that basically defines how much percentage you are getting. For example, if I'm your producer, I'm your manager, I'm your record label executive, I sign you on, I produce music for you or the content, I will tell you that, oh, I want to get 60%, I want to get 40%, I want to get 30%, as long as this content exists. When we go into that agreement, this document defines how much each party gets, whether between artist and producer, manager and producer, singer and songwriter. It defines what everybody that contributed to that project gets. You understand what I'm saying? So these are some things to look out for when you are signing deals and agreements. But basically, I think I'll stop here. What's the benefit of tech in music? Now, low-cost, high-quality production, independent distribution and control, direct fan engagement and monetization, global reach from anywhere, access to data for smart decisions. These are some of the benefits you get when you engage technology. Now, the terms of the discussion is that we are asking you to learn how to use technology by yourself, using DIY, do it yourself, to be able to start up. Do not wait for you to have all it will take for you to have it, because that will lead into procrastination and wasting time. And it may also make you lose focus. So I'm telling you my story by explaining that this is exactly what I did, even before the internet. Now you have the advantage in your palm. Take up your phone today, go on YouTube, go on Google, use AI platforms to ask the relevant questions on how you can maximize that gift that you have. Anything you think about, God has placed it in your heart. It is not for a pastime. It is not an afterthought. Take it seriously, because even if you earn from it for once in your lifetime, that is something that will count. Thank you very much. I would like to welcome Reverend Shalom Gar as he comes to round up to this meeting, and you have a very big God bless you. Thank you.
Can we please put our hands once again for Dr. KBK for that enlightening session? Sometimes we think about the information and the knowledge we are receiving, and it feels like you already know so much. So why does it seem like some of the things we are hearing, how did we miss it, right? But I think that some of the information, or most of the information we have gotten, even for myself personally, I have greatly been impacted by this information, and I want to thank all the speakers. So far, so good. Can I get this sheet of paper? Yes. So there was a question that I want to just answer very quickly, and we would wrap up today's session. One of the questions that came in says, my question is, can one use AI in generating songs? What I'm saying is using AI to compose and possibly have verse, chorus, and all that stuff. Yes, the answer to that is yes. There are many platforms now that don't only just write songs. There are platforms themselves that actually, create the songs. There are platforms that actually even vocalize the songs themselves. All right, so there are many platforms like that that are available. Now, what I'm just going to talk about very quickly in the next 5 minutes is the impact of the AI bubble on software development. Now, I want to expand that not just to software development, but to career generally. How does AI impact on us generally? And let's just move to slide 3. So my name is Shalom Gar. I'm the founder of Garco Digital Services. We are a software development and engineering service company based here in Nigeria. So I just want to I want to jump to slide 3, which is the bubble we are talking about. So just take it that everything I'm going to talk about today is bubble. If you don't remember anything, just remember bubble. Now, what exactly am I talking about? I'm going to talk about the .com bubble, and I'm going to talk about the AI bubble, because we currently have an AI bubble currently now. So just to give a bit of context, I want us to see the differences and the similarities between the two, because that will help us understand the significance of the AI bubble. The .com bubble started in the 1990s to the 2000s, right? And one of the things we see is that history repeats itself in cycles. So what is a bubble? A bubble basically is an overinflated expectation that people have compared to the actual value. Overinflated expectation, right? It's actually the rapid investment compared to the hype that something has, right? Examples we have, when the .com came out, there was something when Yahoo came out, before Gmail. Now, many people don't even have Ymail. All those things are not existing again. There was a bubble, and the over expectation that people had was that, email, the internet was coming to disrupt things, was coming to take jobs like we have already seen. But we've seen that has not happened, right? So there was an expectation that people had that, this is what's going to happen, but that didn't actually happen. So you see that was actually a bubble, because a bubble is actually an overinflated expectation compared to the actual value that we have. Then talking about the .com bubble. The .com bubble was a season where we had a lot of venture capitalists flooding companies. So we had, like the Y Combinators that we had Endurance talking about, and other companies like that. They were flooding startups with funding. Oh, you have a company that is on the internet, or a company that is online. They will now give you money, because they feel that the internet was like the next big thing to take over the whole world. So that was the bubble. Now, it was an overestimation because companies were valued based on what you see. As far as now, for example, you heard Mr. Endurance talk about creating an AI company, right? An AI platform. Now, I had a conference, a Microsoft conference that I attended in Lagos earlier this year, and I had a team of 2 other software engineers with myself, and in less than 48 hours, we built an AI product. Do you understand? That was a financial AI product that confirmed KYC analysis for financial institutions. Now, it looks like it's not so big. That's just the truth. It's not a big thing. In less than 2 days or 3 days, you can build an AI application as far as you connect it to your backend APIs and all that stuff. Well, let's not make it too complicated. But it's an understanding that there is an inflation that people are having in terms of AI now. And these things have happened before when it came to .com. Or you have an event business. It is local or offline. Now you have an event business that is online. People just want to give you money because you are online. That is what happened in the 1990s to the 2000s. So you also notice that in the year 2000, there was a collapse of the dot-com bubble, where people just realized that this internet thing is not the way it seemed, right? And then they started sacking people. They started doing a lot of things because the bubble eventually bursted. Now let's move to the next slide. We'll talk about the AI bubble. The AI bubble is simply the massive hype that we are seeing now around AI, right? We are talking about, generative AI. Now we have even left generative AI. We've moved to agentic AI. And the funny thing is that when the industry brought out agentic AI, they brought out agentic AI as step 2 in a 5-step progress. Now the thing is that step 5 has already been worked on. It's not like they are thinking of working on step 5. They have worked on step 5 already. But they are now bringing out step 2. And step 2 is agentic AI. I don't have the time to go over the details. But I'm talking about the hype. You see billions in investment in venture capitals. You see AI startups racing to build each other apps. Mr. Endurance said at the end of the year, his own AI app is going to come out. You understand? I built mine in April. Other people are building AI apps. They're just, let's build an AI app. WhatsApp brought out their own. Facebook brought out their own. Everybody is building AI apps, right? Now, the only fear we have is the unsustainable valuations. The unsustainable valuations in terms of what is the value of this company? What's the value of this application? What's the value? And then the second thing we also noticed is the limited adoption. The truth is, AI on WhatsApp has come out for a long time. I can tell you categorically right now, I have never used it. I have never touched on that AI, never in my life. But it has come out in a long time. Many other people, and I can see some people in the audience. So is the adoption, there's a limited adoption when it comes to that. Now let's talk about the dot-com and the AI bubble. The only thing we see is that there is a massive, the AI bubble has not busted yet, but the dot-com bubble busted in the 2000s, right? But what we are seeing now is that there is a similarity, and the AI bubble may not necessarily burst, but it will be impacted similarly to the dot-com bubble. I don't want to spend too much time on that. Now let's look at the impact of software development, the impact of AI rather, on software development, right? We see let's move to the next slide, please. We'll see new AI power tools like Copilot, as a software engineer and a developer. I see ChatGPT that helps you to improve your productivity. You have, generation of code and different, even the democratization where we have no-code platforms where people are able to build applications without code. And then you see acceleration in prototyping and innovation. It's easier now to start a company than never before. It's easier now to build an app than never before, right? And then let's look at the risks. Let's look at the risk. We see over-reliance on AI code generation, right? And that develops what we call skill atrophy. You don't have the ability to think anymore because somebody's thinking for you. You don't have the ability to do some mental work or some things again because you are over-reliant. That when you don't use these muscles, you lose them, right? So that's what we call skill atrophy. There are security concerns because like KBK was talking about earlier on, there's no picture you've posted online, even the ones that you deleted from your account that has ever been deleted, ever. And all this information are saved. There's something in software development we call soft delete, database, whatever, right? Soft delete is deleting, is simply deactivating the appearance of your application or if you put soft delete on a picture, what you are simply saying is, should this picture be displayed, yes or no? If it is yes, it's there. If it is no, it's deleted. On your laptop, you delete your music. It goes to recycle bin. You can go and restore it. But on your laptop is deleted, but it's still in recycle bin. If you delete it from your recycle bin, there's a way to still get it back from the recycle bin. So nothing's never really deleted like that. So no, to the next. Okay, so we have, sorry, let's go back. We have security concerns, right? Where AI learns us. We are using AI, but AI learns us. It's studying the way we think, it's studying the way we do things, and there are some security concerns around that. There's a hype in job and sustainable roles. There's the everything is going to AI, and everybody wants to build an AI product and stuff like that. But one of the lessons we need to learn from the crash is that many things failed from the internet, the .com crash. Many applications failed. But a few remained. You see some of them, like eBay. eBay is still active. I know you've not bought anything from eBay, but it is still active, right? Things like Amazon. Amazon has been there since, but it is still active. Google is still active, right? So those are some of the lessons you can learn. Secondly, this infrastructure is built. Right now, AI is building infrastructure. We are not using AI. We are building the infrastructure of AI. We are building mental models. AI is learning us to become better. Do you understand? So it's actually the infrastructure that we are currently building. And then bubble end of technology, the previous slide, just market correction. What that means is at the end of the .com bubble burst, all we found out was that this is how we should correct the market. So the people who lost, the people who gained. But we just get a lesson that this is how we should correct the market. What might survive the AI bubble, right? Core infrastructure, like we said, the AI infrastructure will survive. Practical enterprise AI tools will survive. Companies with real revenue, not just the hype. Do you understand? Not just the hype, but companies with real revenue and adoption will survive. And then one of the things we need to just realize that anything that uses AI as a co-pilot will survive. Anything, any business, any creative, expression that uses AI as a co-pilot and not a replacement. So you don't rely on AI 100%. Those are the kind of businesses that would thrive. So what now? This is the call to action for each and every one of us. Next slide, please. Bubbles drive short-term chaos, but long-term progress. All bubbles, they drive short-term chaos. If you want to do it now, it's chaos for you. But on the long term, it drives progress. So if you are building anything with AI or you are using AI for anything, what's the long-term plan? Those are the people who actually will survive the AI bubble. AI will reshape the software the software development industry beyond just the hype. All right? So what would advise to anybody who wants to use AI tools wisely. Right? Use AI tools wisely. There is something that AI may never get or may never have, depending on the way you want to define it. But I don't think AI will ever have wisdom. I don't think so. And smart, yes. Intelligent, yes. Wisdom, no. So you have access to wisdom. So use AI wisely. Build sustainable, value-driven applications. Let them be built on value. What do people want? Not just simply because you want to build an AI product or you want to be part of the AI hype. No, that wouldn't help. And learn from history. Don't chase hype, but build impact. Don't chase hype, but build impact. In conclusion, I want to encourage each and everyone to chase your vision. I want to encourage everyone and career goals. I want to encourage everyone to leverage on the hype, but don't build your business on the hype. Leverage on the hype, but don't build your business. My name still remains Shalom Gar. Thank you for listening. And I want to appreciate everyone on behalf of the leadership of Above Only Creative for your time. Thank you for joining us. All those who have been joining and listening from the beginning of this program until now on YouTube and all the streaming platforms. We want to appreciate you and everyone who listened to this video afterwards. I hope these lessons and some of these conversations have been valuable to you. See you at Tech Fusion 2026. Do enjoy the rest of your day. Have a good one. And before we leave, please shake the hand of someone. For those of us who are physically present in the building, shake the hand of someone. Appreciate them for spending the last 4 hours of